All sports, all plays. Yeah. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we making up plays. You talking the game, get you to the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics living the same. All presentation, sports information. Hitting the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays, like working your faces. Grace at the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.
All right. It is another edition of Unscripted, and we will have our boy Frankie the Yankee come on here pretty soon. And we got our boy Logan Landers down below. Say what's up to the people, Logan.
What's going on, everyone? Hope y'all are having a good Saturday. We are happy to bring you another good episode of Unscripted. No Gonzo tonight. He is currently doing an independent wrestling show out there in Indiana. So go check him out. I think he said he's going live at 7, Jay, for I think streaming the show. I'm not sure if he's still going live at the moment, but go over check his channel out anywhere, Gonzo Sports Room, and he's got a lot of amazing content over there. We miss you, Chris. We'll have you back on, I think, Thursday, so we'll see him then.
Yeah, absolutely. And obviously, we don't have a slide on this because obviously it just recently happened as of this morning. And Dwayne Haskins, obviously, as many of you know, was hurt or actually was killed in a car accident. I believe it involved a dump truck, like Logan was telling me earlier. It's a sad day, man. Big standout star at Ohio State, caught on out of the draft with Washington, and then ended his career, obviously, with the Pittsburgh Steelers. I believe he was actually out there. I believe it was in Florida. Am I correct, Logan?
Yeah, he was in Florida training at the moment.
Yeah, he was in Florida training with different wide receivers and quarterbacks with the Steelers, getting ready, obviously, for the upcoming season. And, it's a tragedy. It's a life gone way too soon. And, it's sad. I'm not even going to talk about Adam Schefter and the bullshit that he put out. And obviously, I think Logan brought to my attention. What was the Cowboys executive that said? Was it Gil Bryant?
It was Gil Brandt. He was the I think the executive player personnel for the Cowboys from like the 60s to the mid 80s.
Yeah, we're not going to talk about either one of those two dudes. Let me tell you something. This is my very, very small rant. If you don't have something to say about somebody in a positive way at their passing, just shut the hell up. And I'm really modifying my language. It's ridiculous. But again, I'm not going to make this about them because it's not about them. It's about the passing of Dwayne Haskins. And my heart goes out to him and his family and all the things that they must be going through during this time. And I wish them nothing but peace. And hopefully they can, get on from this and be able to mourn and be left in privacy. And again, my heart goes out to them. Logan?
Yeah, like you said, man. I mean, this literally came from out of nowhere. It said he was, like Jay said, he was in Florida training, getting ready for the upcoming season out there in Florida with other different receivers and quarterbacks and whatnot, and pretty much just a lot of the Steelers teammates. And it said he was just, I think, walking on the highway or the interstate. It was Interstate 595, and it said a dump truck, man, just. He swerved. They attempted to cross the westbound lanes of the highway, and it, unfortunately, it hit Dwayne. And it's really sad, Jay, because, I mean, his football career had just gotten started. I mean, it really had. I know that he'd had some trouble off the field and whatnot, but, I mean, like I said, we're not going into all that. But top 15 pick in 2018 or 19. Like Jay said, an Ohio State legend for that 1 year he had. And, you know, it was just tough, man, because, I mean, he's so young. He was about a month away, a little bit less than a month from turning 25. So super young. And, you know, it just sucks all around that we have to talk about this. Someone so young and already gone at such a young age. And it just sucks because, I mean, you know, he posted, you know, something on his Instagram the other day with Najee Harris just having a good time, man. And it really hurts. You know, everyone was coming out, people from Washington, where he used to play, everyone from the Steelers, Ohio State, back in his high school. And it's just sad to see. But like Jay said, man, I mean, we just hope that, you know, as a small internet show here on Facebook and everywhere, that we can hopefully, you know, reach out to the family of him, the friends, and just offer some peace in this very trying time.
Yeah, man, definitely. You know, if nothing else, Logan, it really does just kind of reconfirm, you know, my understanding that, you know, it reconfirms two things in my thought process. Number one, that tomorrow is never promised, and number two, that life is precious. And, you know, honestly, just, you know, you never know, man, when things are going to happen in your life, man, and just, you know, it's sad that it happened to him at such a young age, man.
No doubt.
All right, we will move on real quick. Hey, shout out to Tiger Woods. You know, he's made it through the Masters. You know, he obviously didn't win, but, you know, hey, what a hell of an accomplishment to come back after all that he's gone through with that shattered leg of his, and to be able to come back and, you know, at least, you know, complete the Masters and make it through the cut, and not, you know, just, I mean, honestly, I mean, even though he didn't win, I think he won anyway. Don't you agree, Logan? Even though he didn't win, he still.
I mean, it was great to see him back on the course. It's been a long time. His first course since that awful wreck he had, right? That, I mean, people thought he might not even play golf again. But right, like you say, glad that he made it through the Masters all around, and you know, maybe he can continue that momentum into the next course and see how he can do. But, hey, also thanks to all the comments there. We got a ton of comments already, so thanks to everyone for coming out early tonight. We like to see it.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, again, you know, hey, I can't be more proud of Tiger and the comeback that he's done. Because, I mean, hey, listen, I've messed up my leg, and that's a hard thing to come back from, especially to the degree in which he messed up the leg, and to be out there and competing. I mean, how great is that? You know, I mean,
plus too, Jay, with all the back surgeries he's had too. I mean, it wasn't just his leg; it was multiple back surgeries over, you know, his 20, 30-year career also. Right.
And, you know, and I really think that there's going to be bigger things in Tiger. I don't think Tiger is completely done. I still feel like, Logan,
he's got a little bit left.
I feel like it's another major. I don't know. Logan, I got to be honest with you. Given the amount of injuries and things that his body has taken on, and given his age and things, I don't know that he has enough physically. Mentally, he's there, but I don't know if he has enough physically to be able to get to 18 and tie up at least Jack Nicklaus. I don't know if he has enough in that tank, but I do think he's got at least enough for one more major. Would you agree?
I think he could definitely do that. I mean, there's a reason he is, you know, world renowned as one of the best golfers of all time. So we'll see what Tiger can do. Wish him the best, and you know, much success for his even more historic career, which is going to continue, which you'd like to see. John Suggs says MLB implemented 2 different sized baseballs throughout last season. But this year they're using the lighter ball. Is it a reason more players have been hitting? Reason more players been hit this year than any other year opening week? Yes. Also, too, let's not forget they took away the ability to use any grip on the baseball. So, I mean, what you're seeing, and Jay, I'm sure you've seen it too, that especially early in the game, guys are getting hit more because the ball is slick. You're not able to scuff it up with rosin or dirt. You know what I mean? It's basically a fresh ball out the pack. And if you know anything about that, those things are slippery pretty much. Like, you've got to get those worn down. And that's why we're seeing so many, you know, especially curveball sliders, all of that. That's why they're getting away from people. So, yeah, I think that's why the more players have been getting hit this year. But we'll see. Anthony, I have no idea. I'm sure it'll come out if it even needs to. Cameron, what's going on? He said he's tied with John Rahm right now for 41st in the Masters. Okay, good to know.
Yeah, and like I said, I mean, nobody's going to expect Tiger Woods to come off that type of injury to the Masters first time out and get the win. That's unrealistic. I'm not sure how much is left in the Masters. I'm not following it a whole lot, but I could maybe see a top 30 finish. Jay, what about you? I can see him getting in a top 30.
I don't know how many strokes back. I have no clue, but that would be nice. I mean, like you say, even for just completing it, I think that's a small victory, don't you think?
Exactly. And like I said, if you're going to come back to golf, for crying out loud, after that type of injury, and you want to come back at the Masters, okay, hey, go on there with your bad self. I think there's gonna look. This is nothing else. This is just a warm up for Tiger to get back into the game of golf. So nobody expects him to get the win. I'm just glad that he completed the entire rounds and didn't get cut and was competitive. And so I think from here, now he can probably pick and choose which matches he wants to get into, which matches he doesn't get into. I personally don't care if Tiger Woods plays in any of the regular type of golf course matches. I would just like to see Tiger compete in the majors. I think, if nothing else, just compete in the majors and see if you can get a major win, because that's really all Tiger Woods is chasing at this point in his life. It's just trying to catch Jack Nicklaus, either catch him or beat him. And so save your wear and tear on your body, keep doing your practice rounds, and just compete the majors. You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah. I definitely understand with that. We'll see what he can do, though, man.
Absolutely. All right, we're gonna move on to this one. So why is Luka not in the MVP talks? Logan, I still don't understand this. You look at what Luka's doing. The team is number 4 in the West. They really don't have anybody outside of Luka. They have Dinwiddie. I'm not going to discount Dinwiddie, but they really don't have much outside of Dinwiddie to really make this team, where it needs to be in terms of being competitive. But you look at what Luka's doing. He's got 28 points, 9 rebounds, 8 assists. And his team is number 4 in the West. Then you look at Joker, who, in my opinion, if anybody's should be MVP this year, it should still be Joker, because he's put up 27, 13, and 7, and his team is number 4 in the West as well. And then, of course, you got Embiid, which I think is pretty much, everybody's favorite at this point, it seems like, anyway. And he's putting up 30, 11, and 4, and his team is number 6 in the East, and he has James Harden and Thibault and Tobias Harris, and he's got a pretty good slew of cast over there, but yet he's number 6, and I don't think his skill sets, outside of being able to score in the paint and being a good defender, I don't think he's putting up better skill sets than Joker or even Luka for that matter. Because honestly, if you look at Joker's 3 points less, but he's got 13 rebounds to 11, and he's got more assists to 4. 7-4. So he's outdoing him, but he's only getting 3 points less, but that's because of assist numbers. Let's be honest. Joker could put up the same amount of points as Embiid if he wasn't giving out so many assists. Right. So I think Embiid is a little bit overinflated. And I think Luka probably comes in. I think the MVP should be between Joker and Luka. In my personal opinion, I think Embiid comes in third, just because I feel like Luka has a better skill set. He can score outside, he can score inside, he can get rebounds, he can get assists. I mean, and his team is in 4th, and he doesn't really have that Batman and Robin like Embiid does with Harden. I mean, for crying out loud, you got Harden was MVP of the league, and you got him as your Robin, and you're in 6th seed? Come on, man. Knock it out. Logan, what do you think about this?
I think it's going to be tough for him to get it because, like I said, you've got really the 3 main guys is Luka, Embiid, and Jokic. And then also, you can throw another one in there, you got Giannis. I mean, the Nuggets are a lower seed at the moment than the Mavericks, and then of course we all know what the Bucks are doing, what the Sixers are doing. Anthony said Luka wasn't good from the start of the season. He got fired after the All-Star game, and that might be true. He hasn't played. I think he's played the least amount of games compared to everyone else that I mentioned because he was hurt. Remember, he was out of shape kind of coming into the year, so. And like Anthony said, he really got hot after the All-Star break. John put up a good point. He said, even better, ask Giannis or Embiid He said, honestly, Luka is nice, but I think Joker is more MVP than Doncic. I mean, I have Jokic winning the MVP. That's what I've got. Just because he's giving you something that the other ones can't in terms of points and assists and rebounds as well. No, you're right. I think Luka is definitely going to get an MVP. I just don't think this year is it for him. He's only, I think, 22, maybe 23. So, I mean, there's still plenty of time for him to get one. I think it'll come. But like Anthony said, if he was doing this, Jay, for a little bit longer, a little bit more sustained, as opposed to just the second half compared to what everyone else was doing, I feel like we would be talking more about him. Because, I mean, look at the flip side, right? The first half of the season, who else would we be talking about in MVP that we're not talking about right now, Jay? DeMar DeRozan. So it's kind of, I think that if he was able to continue this throughout the whole season, I think he'd be more in MVP talks. I think he'll get a top 5 finish. But I still think, for me personally, I got Joker winning it this year. But right. I definitely think that Luka will definitely get one.
And again, if you want to put Giannis in the equation, Giannis is getting 29 points, 11 rebounds, 5 assists, which is basically 2 more points than Joker, but Joker has more rebounds and assists. And we all know that Giannis has Middleton, and he also has Jrue Holiday, whereas Joker has neither one of those two. So again, I really think it comes down to Joker or Luka, in my opinion, for the MVP race. But I do think at the end of the day, to your point, I think it comes down to Joker. And that's only because Joker's just phenomenal, man. I mean, the guy's just what he's doing is crazy. And he has all the same skill sets as what Luka has. And, again, they're both tied. They're both, I think Joker's right at about the 6th seed, I believe it is. And I had it wrong. I had it back. Joker is 6th seed in the West, and Embiid is 4th seed in the East. So I apologize. I had it backwards on that.
Damien said, how is Embiid in the talks when he was injured? I mean, you only have to play a certain amount of games. He's played 67 games this year. I think Luka has played even less than that, maybe, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Luka's played 64. Yeah. So, I mean, they're right around the same games played. I mean, plus, like I said, they got a high seed in the East. They were number 1 seed for a while. Currently, they're number 4. They're tied with a bunch of teams right now, the Celtics, and they're only a game behind the Bucks with 2 games left. So, I mean, obviously, he's still going to be in it, Damien. He said, where's Freddie? He would say LeBron.
Freddie would say LeBron. That's exactly right. I don't know, though. Freddie's been kind of going, man. You know what, though? Freddie's been kind of going sour on LeBron here as of lately. So I don't know. He might not.
Because they got knocked out, Jay. We talked about last year.
Freddie is a little sour on LeBron right now.
Also, Dave said, I'm surprised Booker isn't MVP talks the way he's been carrying the Suns to stay number 1. I mean, I feel that Devin Booker, Jay, we could have easily replaced Devin Booker with this instead of Luka.
I don't know. I think what hurts Booker, though, is the fact that Chris Paul has such an impact on that team. I think that kind of takes away from him a little bit. And I also think the fact that they have a lot of weapons around him, as in Ayton, as in Bridges, and so forth, that kind of takes away from him. So I think he's got that team itself kind of takes away from his MVP-ness because, again, when you have less weapons and your team is right up there in the mix, I mean, it just looks a little bit more impressive that way. You know what I'm saying?
I feel you. But let's get that comment from Damien Hernandez out of here. Let's bring on our boy.
Yes.
The one who, Jay, you screwed over earlier. You say, hey, look at the score right now, Frankie. The Red Sox are up 2-0. And Frankie came back. He said, what inning is it, Jay? And then we all know the Yankees got the win today. Everyone, please welcome Frankie the Yankee, Frankie C. What's going on, buddy?
What's up, guys? Thank you for that marvelous introduction, Logan. Jay, what's going on, man?
Hey, I gave you a little bit of respect. Hey, I put you at the top, so I gave you a little bit of respect. I don't want to hear no mad shit from you. Pardon my French.
Listen. I'm not going to say much because your team is also 2-0. You guys do have a game in the next hour against the Angels. Your last game against them.
Hey, but guess who's not? Hey, guess who's not undefeated? Logan.
Hey, it's all right though, man. It's all right because right now, what's the score? We're up 2-0 on Gonzo, and good win last night. A little bit shaky at the end with Jansen, but hey, we got the win. I don't care about the score. We won. Put it in the win column. looking to go above 500. And boy, they released those rings, and those things sure are beautiful.
Yes, I agree.
Hey, I bet they are beautiful.
You gotta admit that, Jay. You gotta admit those rings are nice. John's another example is Curry.
Frankie, give me your opinion on Luka. Why is he not more in the MVP talks as Embiid or Giannis or Joker? Those names seem to be quite prevalent when people are asked about the MVP. Very rarely do we hear Luka's name really talked about in that type of conversation, even though he's putting up better or equal to, or if not better numbers, and his team is in a great position in the playoffs, but yet he's not in the conversation. What do you think about that?
Well, Jay, I'm going to start off by saying I can care less about MVP talks and basketball season talks because my season is over and I'm on to the baseball season. This is Frankie the Yankee that is in here, not Frankie Lake Show, all right? So, but I am going to give my thought on this, because I can't understand why in the HELL hockey sticks, Luka can't be in the MVP talk. I mean, the guy has shown up since he came into the NBA. He's carried the Dallas Mavericks. I mean, yeah, he hasn't taken them far into the playoffs where they think that they should be, but they don't. That's not Luka's fault. They don't have the weapons and the category for the Dallas Mavericks on how they used to be with Dirk Nowitzki and everything like that. I mean, you got Luka who came in with Porzingis coming back, getting traded from the Knicks at this time, and it didn't work out. It really didn't work out. We thought we were going to see magic between Luka and Porzingis, and it just didn't work out. Huh. Now with Porzingis gone, now it's Luka's time to shine, and that's exactly what he's doing. Like you said, Jay, he is putting the Dallas Mavericks in a good position in the playoffs. So with him not being in the MVP talks is outstanding to me. Like, I don't understand it. Like, he should be up there, at least the top 3, maybe even top 5. The same thing goes with Devin Booker. I agree with what you said earlier. The reason why Devin Booker isn't in the MVP talk is because of CP3. CP3, once he got to the Phoenix Suns, he took all eyes away from Devin Booker, and it got all on CP3. And I'm sorry for Devin Booker on that, because he's an outstanding player. And let's be real, he's honestly the one that turned the Phoenix Suns around during the playoff bubble. They went 8-0 in the bubble, and since then they had 2 great outstanding seasons, going to the championship last year, obviously losing it, and becoming the best team in the NBA this year. So with Devin Booker also not in the conversation talk is outrageous to me. But we all know this is going to go to Joker this year. He's had an outstanding season this year. I'm pretty sure he was like triple digits in the categories of points, rebounds, and assists for taking the lead. If not, I'm not sure. Maybe Logan could look at the stats, or Jay can see what Joker's stats are. I do believe it's like a double digit on all 3. But if that it is, that's the reason why, is because Joker's been on an insane level this year for the Nuggets. But I don't think that the Nuggets will do anything in the playoffs. I don't think they'll make it far. My prediction is still true. The Memphis Grizzlies are still in there. They're hot. They're in the top 3. They're actually in the 2nd seed. So I'm still sticking with my theory that the Memphis Grizzlies are going to make the Western Conference finals to face off against either the Suns or the Warriors. We don't know just yet. But Luka not being in the MVP talk, it's insane. And I feel like something should change with Luka. But I also agree with Logan. He's still young. He has a lot of basketball left in him. And I see at least.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And just to your point, Frankie, just to give you a little background there. So Luka's got 28 points. Joker's averaging 27. So they're almost a wash at what they're averaging for points. And Joker's got 13 rebounds. Luka's got 9. And Luka has 8 assists, and Joker has 7. So the points and the assists between the two of them are pretty much a wash. It's just one separating them. And pretty much Joker has them on the rebounds at 13 versus 9. But, I mean, these guys are putting up damn near almost the same number. And Joker should have more rebounds. I mean, you know, that's just, he's a center, so he should be leading in that category.
And I believe that's why he's in the MVP talk as number one, who might win it this year, because he's a center putting up those type of caliber numbers. We don't see much centers doing that.
Yeah. I mean, a center put up 7 assists is pretty phenomenal. I mean, and that's just because Joker, quite honestly, he's a 7-foot guy playing center, but he damn near almost has the ball handling skills to be a point guard, to be honest with you.
And I'm pretty sure he has the most scoring points average in the Nuggets.
Yeah, for sure. For sure, because, I mean, he's their only kind of star player. There's no
really quick, John Suggs says he's surprised that KD is not in the MVP talk. But I think, honestly, what hurt KD was just his injuries and lack of playing time. I think that's what has hurt Embiid this year from not being in that conversation.
If he was healthy, I mean, I'm not going to say it would have been a landslide because you can't predict that. But I mean, he's definitely having a good season in his limited time. I mean, the Nets as a whole aren't, but it is what it is.
I mean, let's be honest. KD would have definitely been in the conversation, but you guys got to understand what Joker's doing is just. I mean, like I said, the skill sets he has, what he's doing as a team, where he's bringing his team. I mean, it's just phenomenal, man. It's phenomenal, and sometimes you have to have that turning of the page, and Joker's that next page right now. I think, like you said, Luka, as young as he is, possibly will get in the conversation at some point. I mean, I just think he has to. I think if Ja Morant, if he can develop some sort of outside shooting and not rely so much on his athleticism to make him who he is, then he will be more in that conversation. So there's definitely some people out there that will make this NBA seasons become more, interesting for the MVP talks as we go along. I mean, there's definitely some emerging stars. Would we all agree on that?
I'd give it 2 year times where we'll see Luka and Devin Booker both be in the race for like 1 and 2 in the MVP talks. About 2 more years.
Yeah, absolutely. In fact,
and John Morant.
And John Suggs talks about Morant, and of course I just talked about Morant, but John feels the same way. Right? Morant could be in the mix. But Morant's going to have to develop a little bit more of his game if he wants to get into that type of mix. I'm sorry. He's going to have to be more than just an athletic guy if he wants to be an MVP. He's going to have to develop an outside. Now, he is working on his free throws. I'm going to give him credit for that. But he's going to have to work more on his outside shooting if he really wants to get in that type of conversation.
Do you know why he's not in that conversation? It's because the Memphis Grizzlies show that they can compete with him on the bench.
And that's true. That's a good point. That's a damn good point. You're right, Frankie. I agree with you wholeheartedly. More coaches join the racism lawsuit versus the NFL. Breaking news: former Cardinals head coach Steve Wilkes and former defensive coordinator Ray Horton now have joined Brian Flores' race discrimination class action lawsuit against the NFL and various teams. Former coaches joined Flores in discrimination lawsuit. Here's the deal, folks. And I kind of thought this might gather up some steam. I didn't know all of, as far as all the coaches' names. I know they had talked about what was the other one? Who was the one that came out first? I think was it with the Bears?
Brian Flores.
No, it was Brian Flores, but somebody else came out right with him that wanted to join up with him, and they kind of backed off a little bit. Oh, I can't think of his name right offhand. It's escaping me. It probably will come to me in a minute. Who is it? He was also a Cleveland. He was Hugh Jackson. Was it Hugh Jackson?
I think so, yeah.
I want to say it was Hugh Jackson that was on with Brian Flores at first, and then he kind of died off a little bit. And, of course, now we got, these other 2 coaches that have stepped forward and joined the lawsuit. But I kind of thought that there might be more joining, and, of course, there is. You got Steve Wilkes and Ray Horton joining up with Brian Flores. Wilkes, like you said, was a hard-nosed head coach for 1 season in 2018. And then you had Ray Horton, the NFL assistant since 1994, who interviewed for the Titans job in 2016. Of course, we ultimately know who got the job there. Texans removed Flores' name when he decided to file this lawsuit. So now, basically, this lawsuit is asking for transparency for the NFL hiring process, the incentives for hiring black coaches, and increased visibility for black assistant coaches. So there's been a lot of teams now that have been named in this lawsuit. For example, the Broncos are in there, the Titans are in there, the Texans have been added, along with the Giants and Cardinals and several other teams that are part of this lawsuit. And I'll be honest with you, man. I'm from Texas, and I'm not happy with the Texans. I don't like the fact. I was kind of wondering why Brian Flores went there and interviewed with the Texans. Why did he get that job? Because I'm sorry, and nothing against Lovie Smith. I love Lovie Smith. He's a great guy. But he's not a Brian freaking Flores. I'm sorry, he's just not. And the Texans are in a rebuild mode. And what does Brian Flores do with Miami? He rebuilt them to be one hell of a damn good team without a field general. They are one field general away from being, in my opinion, Super Bowl favorites. No, they really are. They really honestly are. They got a hell of an offense, a good defense, but they are one quarterback shy, a really good quarterback shy of being Super Bowl favorites. I promise you that, Frankie. Look at that team and tell me I'm wrong. But I'm going to say this, and you're going to get your fuel, and you can probably – Frankie knows a lot more about this sports stuff than I do. But I will say this. The Texans, the fact that you did not hire Brian Flores simply because he filed a lawsuit against racism, that speaks volumes for where you guys are as an organization, especially after you fired Dan Coley after 1 year. And then you bring in Lovie Smith, which is not a bad thing. I mean, hey, give him his due shot, whatever. But at the same time, it's like, I don't get you, man. You're trying to rebuild your image, trying to do all these things, but yet you're firing Dan Coley 1 year in. You're not hiring Flores because he filed a lawsuit. And what the hell are you doing over there? What kind of shit show are you running over there, Texans?
Yeah,
that's my spiel.
Not a good one.
It's ridiculous. Logan, I'm gonna let you go because I want Frankie to wrap it up. Logan, what is your opinion on?
Jay, throw some of those comments up there so we can respond to them.
Yeah, I will. Absolutely.
Anthony said this lawsuit is going to be just like Cap. I mean, like Kaepernick. No, that's completely different. That's not the same. They're gonna pay him and never talk about it again. If you say that. All this happened because Bill texted the wrong Brian. I mean, he ain't wrong. That is how all this kind of started, which is still crazy to me. Let's see. John Suggs said, didn't the NFL just come out and said all teams now have to get a black offensive coordinator or interview one? Yes, they did. So, I mean, that already shows that that's a small step, right? That they already are having that rule instituted. But, I mean, obviously that ain't enough for them. They're wanting to do more, which I don't blame them. And then Damien also said Jim Caldwell, who I don't know if you're saying that he's in this lawsuit or not. I'm not too sure, Damien, if you can elaborate. But just talking about Steve Wilkes and also with Ray Horton, their whole situation. This all kind of came about when, Jay, you kind of touched on it with the Titans, right? Where Horton was interviewing and ultimately it went with Mike Mularkey as their head coach for the time.
Yeah.
It said in a 2020 podcast, he said that the Titans owners told him he was going to get the job before they'd completed the interview process, including interviewing 2 minority candidates. And I mean, Jay, that sounds pretty familiar, doesn't it? That we're going to hire you before completing the process.
Yeah.
And that's why Wilkes, that's why Horton. Wilkes' was more of, I believe, him saying he was a bridge coach to Cliff Kingsbury, who, let's not forget, came over from college ball, and Wilkes was just there for that one season. Jay, I don't know about you, but it is very hard to build a team with a head coach for just 1 year. I've never really understood, except for, ultimate circumstances, if you go like 0-16 or if you do something wrong, to get fired 1 year in. Because, I mean, it is hard to build a team with that kind of just opening and closing the door on head coaches. But I mean, it's going to be interesting to see how many more coaches come in and are going to be a part of this lawsuit, because I am sure that more are going to come and join this and build just, I believe, an even stronger case against the NFL. The NFL has already declined to comment on this, so it's gonna be interesting to see, right? Because Brian Flores, he luckily he does have a job, just not as a head coach. He is with the Steelers. But I think we talked about whenever he first instituted his claim and said he was going to file a lawsuit. I feel that whenever Mike Tomlin retires in a couple of years, that Flores will take over. I would hope so. That would be a great decision for the Steelers organization. But we'll see what happens. And I feel like, man, the NFL ain't doing too good right now. Let's be honest. They are in a rough patch with this going on, with the Washington, that whole scandal, right? With them, with money and everything, their front office. And the NFL, I feel like a lot of its dirty laundry is finally getting aired out to the public. John said in 32 years since the Raiders hired Art Shell as head coach, there have been less than 24 black head coaches hired. So
it's crazy.
What, 32 years, there's only been less than 12, less than 24 black head coaches. And I mean, I can probably guess, Jay, that the large majority of them were fired in less than 5 seasons.
Right.
We'll see what happens.
And real quick, before Frankie goes, I found it was Hugh Jackson, by the way. Okay. Hugh Jackson says he didn't become aware of Brown's plans until a month and a half after they hired him. Jackson said, it was never told to me that they were going to strip the team down by releasing veteran players. That was February 3rd, 2022. The Beacon Journal reported that. Basically, Hugh Jackson alleges that Brown's bonuses were tied to tanking and things of that nature. So, Hugh Jackson clearly did not get a fair shot at the Browns job, with the fact that they stripped it down without letting them know. And, of course, if it's true that they had bonuses tied to tanking, it's incredible how, we're not giving African-American or minority coaches as a whole the fair shake as everybody else is getting. And it's ridiculous. And I think you're right. I think the NFL's dirty laundry is finally coming to fruition. Frankie, what's your thoughts on this, man? Did Frankie go silent on us? Frankie, you still there?
I think he did. His mic's on, but he is not. We'll get to him in a minute.
Well, yeah, we'll come back to Frank. Hey, we're gonna keep moving this show right along, though.
Yeah, John said there's only 2 teams that's owner or co-owner is minority. He said, "Do you know them?" Then he put the answer. Shad Khan for the Jaguars, and then Kim Pagula, who's a co-owner of the Bills. Which I think the one with the Bills that happened pretty recently, if I'm not mistaken. I know Shad's been there for a couple of years,
right?
But I feel that let me see whenever Kim took over, because it was pretty recent. Let me see.
I'm really, while you're looking that up, I'm really kind of curious to see what becomes of the Robert Smith trying to buy the Broncos. That was in there for a while, and now, lately. Yeah, we haven't heard anything at all about the Broncos. Frankie, you back with us?
Also, Jay, Pagula was in, looks like 2018.
You said what now?
So, Kim Pagula, it looks like she took over in 2018. So it's been about 5 years or so.
Frankie, tell me what your opinion on the coaches joining the lawsuit against the NFL, given everything that's gone on recently.
Yeah, absolutely. First of all, let me say sorry for that long pause. I was away for a minute. My kids they're sleeping.
Okay, it's all good, brother.
All good, bro.
But yeah, man, I totally agree with these coaches. I think they're doing the right thing by stepping up with Brian Flores and showing that the NFL is doing something wrong, where they're not hiring more black coaches in the NFL. For some reason, right now, I think we only have about 2 or 3 minority head coaches in the NFL. Mike Tomlin being one, Lovie Smith being one, and I don't know if there's anybody else, but there's got to be at least 2 or 3 out there. But out of everyone else, man, out of 32 teams, that's insane. We should get more black head coaches in there.
Yeah, Frankie, there are 5 at the moment. There are 5 minority head coaches. Mike Tomlin, Ron Rivera, Lovie Smith, Robert Saleh, and Mike McDaniels.
They really call Ron Rivera. I mean, I guess
that's what I found him. That's what I found in my Google search.
I mean, I guess you can.
At
least we got 5 in there, but that's out of 32 teams. I mean, we should have these.
And I mean, that's probably like the highest it's ever been, right?
Probably.
If I had to guess.
But the thing with Lovie Smith getting hired as the the Texas head coach. That happened literally because I feel like because of the situation going on with Brian Flores, and the Texans needed to do something to get the eyes off of them and not be in this conversation with the Giants or with the Miami Dolphins. So the Texans just did something and said, okay, let's just go ahead and move Lovie Smith up to our head coaching spot, and let's not look for a white head coach and get caught and be in trouble for something. But it's insane to me. This is why I'm glad to be a Patriots fan, because we stuck with Bill Belichick for over 20 years, and we don't have to deal with this situation. Robert Kraft don't have to be in the hot seat. But
Robert Kraft ain't a saint now. Let's not forget.
I know that if Bill Belichick was to retire, I know Robert Kraft will interview a bunch of black head coaches, and he's not scared to hire one. I know that for a fact. Right. So if that was to ever happen, I would be 100% behind it and 100% agree with Robert Kraft's decision in hiring a black head coach for our future franchise.
It's going to be really hard with Bill Belichick there. I don't know if Bill I mean, it's going to be hard.
He's going to be there for life now. But he's got that Vince McMahon contract, Frankie. He'll be there until
that man might just die being a head coach. First of all, hey, Rayleigh Pride, we want to say thank you for joining the show, man. We appreciate you. Damian Hernandez talks about, does he think that NFL employees or other players will join the lawsuit? I don't think that's likely. I think it's going to pretty much be limited to coaches. I think it's pretty much going to be coaches at this point. I think if players were going to come out and do something like that, it would be a separate type of lawsuit. But I don't know if that will happen or not. But yeah, man, it's I think the NFL is definitely going to go through some changes over the next 5 to 10 years. I think that the NFL will definitely go. It's going to have to. I think that with the amount of attention, and of course, everybody says, well, once the season starts, will it die down? I don't know that it completely dies down. But I do think that maybe some of the attention will go more to the actual season itself, and maybe this would be more of an off-season type of topic. Does anybody here think that it's going to die down, or do you think it's going to be more of something that will be debated more in the off seasons? How do y'all see this plan out going forward? I
think just a quick answer before we can move on. I think that kind of once the regular season starts, I think it might ramp up some, just because there's going to be more eyes on the NFL. And I mean, who's to say that 5 more coaches will, could join this and really pick up some steam? I feel like it's going to be settled in the off season of next year. Because the NFL is going to want to do everything possible to get this settled whenever there's not millions of eyeballs on their product. So, John said, whether Herm Edwards will join since he's in college coaching. I mean, I can't say one way or another. I mean, that's his decision and his experiences to feel if he wants to join this lawsuit. I mean, just because he is minority head coach doesn't mean that you're going to join this lawsuit. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's like saying Deion Sanders could just join in on this.
Right, yeah. All right, we got one day left in the regular season.
yeah, literally, the NBA is just about done at this point. And, I guess at this point, we'll all take a moment aside to remove our hats, and we'll put it over our heartbeats as we remember the Lakers for what they were in the past, not what they are in the present, probably not what they're going to be in the future, but in the past. My heart goes out to Frankie, as it must be very difficult to watch his team become a total laughingstock of the NBA and total mediocrity at this point.
Boy, Jay's been saving this one.
Jeez, man. My heart just goes out to you, Frankie. It really does. I hate to say this, but LeBron is heading up a rebuild mode. And, again, regular season recap is we saw the Lakers. They are who we thought they were. And that is basically just a cheap freaking lip suit. But no, moving on from that. That was my little diatribe to the Lakers.
I think wait till Frankie talks about the Rockets.
Hey, that's okay. Everybody knows the Rockets are a rebuild. Nobody had high expectations for the Rockets.
We know they got 20
No. Nobody has high expectations for the Rockets. You know we were in rebuild mode, so nobody has high expectations. It's not even close to being the same.
No. I've never seen someone
happy. It's not even close to the same. Right now we're doing draft picks and rebuild.
No.
But hold on, Frankie, you're gonna get your moment. You're gonna get your moment. I'm almost done with recap.
No, you got the nerve to say what you had to say about my team. I'm gonna get what I want, and I'm gonna say
what you want. But hold on, let me finish my turn, and then you get
I was too busy ignoring you because your team is always on the bottom of the standings.
That's not true. That's not true. We're not always on the bottom, Frankie. Frankie, we're not always on the bottom. That's
all right,
not true.
Let me rephrase that. Ever since you lost James Harden, you guys have been in the bottom of the standings.
Frankie, we went to rebuild mode. You know this. You know this, Frankie. Don't act like you don't know this, Frankie. Don't put your lack of inadequacies on our team.
Even when you guys had James Harden after you lost CP3, you were like, we're on a rebuild mode.
Hey, Frankie, everything you feel right now, you have no. But Frankie, you have no future. Frankie, your team has no future at all. You have no draft picks. You have a bunch of one-year contracts. You may or may not get a couple of free agency bullshit picks in there. And you got an aging LeBron and a glass made out of nothing, paper mache, Anthony Davis.
And you got a bunch of players on your bench that don't even want to be a Houston Rockets.
But hold on now. The Rockets have a future. We do. We have a future. We have money. We have draft picks. We're going somewhere, Frankie. And I promise you this.
Are you saying the Lakers don't have money?
Jay, put that comment up there from John Suggs about what you said about the Rockets.
I bet you, Frankie, though, the Rockets will be more competitive than what the Lakers are in the near future.
I
hope I get the right one.
The Rockets been rebuilding for 9 to 10 years. Our boy Pride can't. Anthony said above it. He said Frankie should throw LeBron under the bus to keep his job. Oh no, we're not doing that. Come on. Price said, "Don't sleep on Brooklyn." Pride, our boy.
You're trying to compare the Lakers, a team who has championship or bust, to the Rockets, a young. Exactly. That's my point. The Lakers are a championship or bust, and guess what? They freaking busted. They busted, and the Rockets are rebuilding. Hello, and the fact that Frankie doesn't like it pisses him off.
Pisses him off. Not really. I said what I had to say about my team many times.
Frankie. Not only the Lakers are going to disappoint you. The Lakers are going to disappoint you.
Jay is just a person that likes to hype people.
The Yankees are going to disappoint you. And
Jay
guess
is just
what?
a person that likes to hype people. Look how close he gets to the mic to hype people up. Where I'm sitting here so calm and just saying, I already said what I had to say about the Lakers. And yet, like I say, every time Frankie's on the Unscripted show, he somehow, some way got to put the Lakers in his mouth because deep down in his blood, he knew he grew up liking and watching the Lakers. Don't sit there.
No, I never liked watching. No, that's not true. That's not true.
Stop. Tracy McGrady never did anything for you guys.
Ouch.
Oh, I know. You know what? T-Mac really – I felt bad because T-Mac had a lot of injuries. Yao Ming had a lot of injuries, and they just never really could formulate. But you know what? They still were competitive. They still were I guarantee they still won more games than this year's Lakers team. I'll give you that much.
Logan, you know what's funny? Is everybody knew by February that the Lakers might not make the playoffs. Now that we have been officially eliminated for like about almost 2 weeks now, people still yet talk about my Lakers. You know why? Because they deep down inside, Jay loves my Lakers.
He said no one's going to jog the big bald spot on. What do you mean? Jay's got a hat on, Damien. What do you mean?
Wait a minute. That's hair. Anybody see baldness? Where do you see baldness? I don't get it. Check your mouth, Damien. Don't make me put that video back up there. No, but hey, honestly, on a regular season recap, let's rein it back in. And we had a lot of personal beefs and whatnot, but the regular season was pretty good. I mean, let's be honest. We've seen a lot of things happen. Portland kind of blew themselves up. Indiana kind of blew themselves up. Charlotte kind of was doing a little something. I don't know, but it was okay. It was okay. San Antonio, we thought they were not going to be in the play-in. Now they're in the play-in. I think the regular season recap is the NBA is still a thriving business. It's still a thriving company. I mean, there's a lot of good teams that are in the playoffs that out of the regular season. I think overall the NBA's regular season was pretty good. Does anybody think that the NBA's regular season wasn't any good?
Me.
I mean, it was a good season. They got through it. Full amount of games again.
Oh, and by the way, we saw the Knicks not make the playoffs. The Knicks didn't make the playoffs, but they were in the playoffs last year.
That's probably one of the bigger disappointments is the Knicks, who were the 4th seed last year, not even making the play-in game. I mean, that is just disheartening disappointment. I mean,
they had a whole city pumped up.
Everyone thought Julius Randle was going to be MVP this year. It was, that was a huge disappointment. Currently, right, they have 1 game left, but they are 36-45. That is, that's not good at all. Other teams, like you mentioned, I called from the beginning. I thought Portland was going to make the playoffs. They didn't. I get that Damian Lillard being hurt for a good bit of the season didn't help, but I mean, there's still not much on that team. Some surprises: Timberwolves are a 7th seed, right? I'm happy they made the playoffs this year. A little bit higher up. The Clippers, we all thought they weren't going to do nothing, but I mean, without Kawhi and Paul George for the majority of the year, they made the play-in game. Let's see. The Mavericks are high seed number 4, and the Grizzlies, I feel like, really shocked a lot of people. They're going to finish number 2, but I still feel that a lot of people are talking about the Suns' best record in the league, and for pretty much the entire season, they led the Western Conference. And also the Heat. I mean, the Heat are they clinched the Eastern Conference title, and no one's talking about them. Overall, very good season. Like I said, I'm the only one on the panel. For the Hawks, we made the play-in game. We still made the playoffs, so I'll take it. Bit of a disappointment, but I mean, at least we're not the Knicks. What can I say?
Do you know what's funny, Logan?
At least we're not the Knicks.
You mentioned the Miami Heat taking the lead on the East, and nobody talking about them. And what's real funny to me is some point during this season, the Miami Heat were fighting against each other. Yeah. And we thought that was gonna be a turning point for the Miami Heat, and we thought that was going to be the end. Jimmy Butler arguing with the head coach, Eric Spagnola, or however you say his name, and Spoelstra, whatever. I'm not a Heat fan, so I don't care about him. But
hey, Frankie, real quick, I'm going to cut you off, but did you see that comment?
No.
Of course we lost. I had to hear from Jay.
I just didn't know if you saw that your team lost to a rebuild. I didn't know if you saw that.
It's cute that you put that up, but you don't put up with the one he put up. When was the last time that he?
I'm about to say he didn't put that one about the Rockets.
Exactly, because all his
wait. Which one did I not play? Wait, hold on now. Wait. Hey, wait, hold on. It was it. Okay, maybe it was. Is this the comment you're referring to?
Yeah, the one you never put up.
No, I'm sorry. Okay, listen, I missed it. I'll put it up. I ain't no problem.
Yeah, you missed it. Whatever, Jay. Whatever.
Actually, no. I did put this comment up. You guys just didn't. Yes, I did. This is the second time I put this up. This is the second time. But let me tell you something. It's okay. Listen, the Rockets, we're look, at the end of the day, who's supposed to be there? The Lakers, right? You guys are the Lakers. You're LA. You're big bad wolf. The Rockets, we're, mid-market Southern team. We're not supposed to be all that great. But yet the rebuild beat you and LeBron. So go suck it.
Oh, my God.
Ouch. The Pacers, I think they made the play-in game last year, if not mistaken, and then this year they fell off a cliff. Sorry, Gonzo.
Well, the Pacers took a big step backwards. I think because they're slowly going into the rebuild. Kind of I don't know, it's a full rebuild. A mini rebuild.
Jay, that's like your favorite word for every team that just
No, they did because when you get rid of Sabonis, and a few of the key factors to bring and Dinwiddie to bring in, I don't know. I just don't think that. I don't say they're in a full rebuild, but I definitely think that they are taking some steps back to take maybe some more steps forward. Maybe they felt like they couldn't do anything with Sabonis.
If you say another team is on a rebuild mode, I swear, Jay, I'm gonna back out and drive to Georgia, find you, and literally slap you straight.
Yeah, you know what? Shut your mouth. All I gotta do is hold up a big blunt, and you're good.
Go ahead and say it. We'll come and visit us.
Oh, we got Melanie chiming in here. Frankie.
Melanie will send me the address.
Hey, wait, hold on. Melanie. Mel, and listen, I'm
I'll
sorry.
cook a
No.
Damien's going to go there.
Logan, hold on, Logan. Let me have the microphone for 2 seconds.
Oh, you've had
Melanie, it has been suggested.
Jay, we're on live TV.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. I'm
We
not
have
saying
hundreds of viewers.
Okay.
It has been
Tens of
suggested
viewers.
that I'm not a good lover. It has been suggested that you had to pay me money, or I had to pay you. No, I had to pay.
She's laughing. She's laughing. She don't want the truth to come out.
I pay for sex.
Frankie, what is it? What is this show coming to?
I'm just
I don't
saying.
know, but we're
it has
on
been
live
suggested that I
TV.
pay for sex, Melanie.
Freddie Hernandez is watching.
No, he worked for sex.
Hey, Jay, pull up that comment there.
He
by
doesn't
John.
pay for it. He works for it.
Okay,
Like-
that's fair. No, not that one. Not that one.
Now, I wanted to get
this
this cleared up on national television. My bad. It must have been the green screen. Damien said
for his bald spot, and then
Yeah,
John
yeah,
said,
okay.
Okay,
Hey,
so
listen,
Melanie,
Hey,
John
so
said
at the end of the day, though, hey, but let me ask you this: the regular season recap.
Oh, he's going past
When
it.
did-
He's going past it, Frankie. He ain't wanting to show it on live TV. He said, "Melanie, if you're still there, we
Yeah,
have
she's
a
here.
loyal commenter that wants to know:
She'll
should
tell
Jay
him
keep
to
the
keep
beard
it.
or shave it?"
She'll tell him to keep it. We've been through this many
I've seen
times.
Jay without a beard, and it's an absolute nightmare.
Literally, us here at Unscripted, we're one big family, and we talk every day. And we know firsthand, Melanie will tell Jay not to shave that beard. She will literally look at him and say, "What the hell did you do?"
Let's not forget the dark days, Frankie, about 3 months ago when Jay shaved.
Yeah.
I like the no beard Jason, but I like this beard. This little bit of beard, not the full
Lumberjack
Grizzly Adams
beard,
beard?
Lumberjack Jay.
Not the Grizzly Adams beard.
She don't want me to grow the beard long again, but I'm growing it like I don't give a damn. I'm an old man.
Get the ponytail on the beard, Jay. Do what Gallows was doing. Also, shout out Chris, man. He saw Luke Gallows at a Hooters of all places. Who'd have ever guessed it?
Hey, yeah, shout out to Chris Gonzo, man. How
Wait,
cool
what?
is that to see somebody famous?
I was about to say,
Is he
Chris
famous
talks-
though? Is he?
I don't know. He's famous to me. I'm not famous. I wasn't on AEW, so I figure he's got to be
Neither
something.
was he. He was technically on Impact. Just
he was in WWE though. We could say that.
All right,
All right,
folks.
let's keep it moving, fellas.
Hey, real quick. Hey, one thing to round up the recap of the regular season was the fact that it was sad not to see Zion get back out on the court at some level. It was just right, and I think that honestly, I think it's New Orleans keeping him out. I think he probably could have came back. Let me ask you. Okay, before we go on, let me ask you guys this real question. Frankie, you're going to go first. Logan, you're going to go second, and I'll wrap it up. Zion Williamson, does he play next year for New Orleans? Does he come back on the court, or are we going to see more of him not being on the court? Frankie, what do you think?
I think we'll see more of Zion on the court, depending on how healthy he is. Let's not forget he gained a lot of weight. If he loses that weight, maybe we'll see a lot of him. But if we don't, honestly, I see a trade coming up.
Yeah, I can see that too. Logan, your thoughts?
Yeah, I see him being with New Orleans till his trade deadline. Whenever he gets his value back up, then I think they'll ship him out.
Yeah, I totally agree with you guys. I think he's going to have to get on the court next year. And like you said, if nothing else, to build up his trade value so New Orleans can get some picks out of it. Because I don't think Zion re-ups with New Orleans anyway. And I think New Orleans probably realizes that. So they're going to have to get something for him because if he does leave, they're going to be left holding nothing in the wind. So, yeah, I definitely think he plays next year, if nothing else, just to get the trade value up for New Orleans. And it's going to be beneficial. Not only for New Orleans, but for Zion, right? So Zion can get a better place to play. New Orleans can get some draft picks out of it, and hopefully everything works out well for both parties. All right, next topic, folks. Thibault, not eligible to play in Toronto. Listen, this is going to be a really quick thing because it's almost the same thing as every other player that's out there that had to come into play for for whoever plays Toronto, it would come into play. Outside of Toronto,
right now, Philadelphia does play Toronto. They're 4-5 right now.
Yeah, so it's going to come down to Philadelphia, and I think that Brooklyn Nets really escaped this because, correct me if I'm wrong, Kyrie Irving is now allowed to play in New York. Correct?
Correct.
And home games?
Yes, but Toronto is completely different. You still can't play.
Exactly. So the Nets really kind of lucked out not having to go play Toronto, so that way they can have Kyrie Irving throughout the playoffs. So Phila's going to have to go up north to Toronto and play without Thibault. Do you think? I think Philadelphia can still beat Toronto. I really honestly do. It's going to hurt not having Thibault there, but I still think that Philadelphia will have enough to beat Toronto. I don't think Toronto's going to beat them regardless, because Thibault will still play at home games. Frankie, Thibault not eligible to play in Toronto. How is that going to affect Philadelphia?
I don't think it'll affect them that much. I mean, Philly got a bunch of nice players on the bench, especially with Embiid and James Harden, doing what they're doing as the starting lineup. I don't think this is, much. It's only 2 games. If they can get a sweep on Toronto, it's only 2 games away from Philly. So I feel like it won't do much.
Logan, your thoughts?
I feel like the Raptors can maybe split the series in Toronto. I still obviously think that the Sixers are going to win. But I mean, Thibault's a good player. He's good offense, good defense, and it's going to hurt if he's not going to be able to play up there in Canada. But I mean, we'll see, because I mean, we're really going to find out now because it might not be just him. Like I said, we don't know. It might be other players on the team who are vaccinated will be able to play. So we'll see how that comes into effect. But overall, I think the Sixers they're going to lock that up, and they'll move on to the next round.
Real quick, so how far? So are we pretty much saying that Toronto pretty much? You guys feel that Toronto is just not going to do anything at all, or they don't have the type of team to go further?
I feel like they don't have that star player. I mean, they got Siakam and everyone. That's cool, but it's going to be hard against Embiid and that whole team. But I think that Philadelphia's just got the better roster. And we'll see what they can do. Also, Damien, what is this 50 Shades of Grey now? I don't know where Jay came. I don't know where.
Wait, what? 50 Shades of Grey?
That I guess when he was talking about whatever we were a couple of minutes ago, Jay, when he brought Melanie into the conversation for no reason.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I don't typically bring things from the chat groups out, but when I feel personally attacked, just stand by. Just stand by.
Does Jay get really mad in Pride's word? Yeah.
What? Also, speaking of Pride, he might be coming on for a minute. I don't know, because Jay almost screwed it up. Speaking about in the chat rooms, Jay, since you just brought it up, our boy Pride was like, "Hey, I can hop on if you need me to." And Jay said, "Hop on."
He's here.
And look
the
where
legend, the myth, the
Montez. Meet
hey, listen. We don't typically get Pride on our show very often.
We don't. No,
when I get a chance to get Pride on my show, I just want to bow down and say, "Fuck yeah!"
Hold on.
I'm sorry, what's that,
tank top? Does Pride look buffy? Yeah.
Jay's about to get kicked off again.
Yeah.
Pride. Give me okay, listen, Pride, real quick. Thibault's not eligible to play in Toronto. I think that Brooklyn dodged a bullet, not having to play Toronto because they get to keep Kyrie Irving throughout the playoffs. How do you think, or do you think that Thibault not being there at the away games in Toronto, is that going to affect them, or does Philly just walk all over them anyway?
I was about to say they walk over him anyway, because we got to remember, Matisse Thibault, he's got a nice future, but notice what I said, future. The kid ain't it now. Right? Like, yeah, he's a nice defensive player, but let's also remember that the reason they wanted to keep Philly and not get rid of him with that whole James Harden package was because of his future. Not from now, for the future. It's been like, 3 months has that changed? All of a sudden his future is now. Again, he's a role player. Is it going to hurt? Sure. But at the same time, if you look at what the Toronto Raptors are going to be coming out with, it's really not anything that you kind of got to be like, ooh, shiver me timbers. Like it's nothing like that at all. So Thibault being out, does it suck for them? Sure. It's still Philly and probably 5, because again, they're the Raptors aren't really a championship team. They're just a placeholder, as I call them in the playoffs.
I agree. I totally agree.
Yeah, so
They're not
it
who they
won't
used to
bite
be.
them.
But,
Right,
but,
yeah,
but
so-
Pride, you want to hear something crazy? Pride, you want to hear something crazy? My cohort, my counterpart, my really super duper good friend that says that I pay for sex.
Oh my God, we're still talking
Jay,
about this,
let's
Jay.
keep it moving
Frankie.
here.
That's
Let's
right.
Hold
get
on,
back
hold
to-
on.
We got.
Yeah.
My
We're gonna be here
cohort,
till
Frankie.
No, it's not Frankie. It's not
My
Frankie.
cohort, Frankie the Yankee,
I did not
says,
say that, Jay. I did not say that. That came from your
Hey,
boy,
hold on.
the
Frankie
champ.
says,
Logan
hold on, get
Landers.
past it. Frankie says that Memphis Grizzlies
Just
will
Frankie.
win the finals. No, he said that they will win,
No.
that they will be in the finals over
No, I
Phoenix
didn't.
Suns.
No, I didn't.
Well,
I
hold on.
said
That's
the
what you
Memphis.
said.
No, I didn't, Jay. I said the Memphis Grizzlies will make the Western Conference Finals to either face the Phoenix Suns or the Golden State Warriors.
Oh, okay. Well, I totally misunderstood.
Well,
Do you, okay, but
Also,
even that.
John
Well,
Suggs
let's say-
getting in the
but here's the
comments,
thing.
Jay.
And here's the thing, like, and maybe it's just me. How about Spurs making the play-in? Jay, remember me asking a few weeks ago. Well, look, at the time, no one thought the Spurs were going to make it. They obviously they cleaned up their act. They've been playing great. So do they deserve
That's
to be in
true,
the
I did
play-in?
that.
Yeah, 110%. They deserved it. That's not something a lot of people would have said. So, if John, if you really said that, give me the lotto numbers for next week, because you obviously saw something, brother. You saw something. So if you said that with conviction, bless your heart, bro. Because I would have never said that. I'll be honest with you. Now, to touch on the Memphis Grizzlies, I had the Phoenix Suns. I think this is a Phoenix Suns year. The hardest team that they're gonna have to go through, in my opinion, is the Memphis Grizzlies.
Boom.
That is going to be, in my opinion, the hardest team they will have to play. If they do not play Memphis, you can make an argument that they kind of had a, I don't want to say an easy road, but if you ask me, and maybe I'm crazy, I'm taking my chances playing Golden State in a 7-game series
Yeah.
than the Memphis
Yeah.
Grizzlies.
Oh, I agree. I
That's- you know,
totally,
you see
I
what I'm
totally
saying?
agree
So-
with that.
So I mean, if because I on Facebook, Mike, he said that he has the Grizzlies coming out of the West. I was trolling him a little bit, but if I'm not allowed to pick the Phoenix Suns, then I'm going with the Grizzlies, 100. Because I believe,
Yeah.
I genuinely believe the Western Conference Finals is going to be the Suns and then the Grizzlies, and I think it's going to go 7. And to be honest, it's really going to come down. Like, I don't think it's going to be a single blowout. Each game is really going to be down to the wire, and it's really just going to be determined by who holds the ball last. That's just
Overtime.
me.
Final
Yeah.
second shot.
Honestly, I'll be honest with you. I expect 2 of those games in a 7-game series to go to overtime. That's how great I have the both of them. So to say that, you're not too crazy to say that.
I feel like we're about to see a different John Morant in the playoffs. Like, I feel like he's gonna go off for the Memphis Grizzlies. Like,
We'll
we've seen
see.
him go off in the regular season. He's just gonna
We'll
go
see.
insane
I
because
mean,
he
listen,
knows
the
the
only
playoffs is where it's your time
Right.
to shine. That's where
And-
legends and Hall of Famers are made.
and think about it, like the only flaw this team has, let's be honest, is inexperience. You know what I mean? But we have seen that inexperience get overtaken by them going on a great stretch of their superstar playing phenomenally. So again, if you believe that they'll come out of the East or come out of the West, you're not crazy.
I don't think you're crazy either. I just feel like this is just Phoenix's year. Like
No,
they
me
learned
too.
last
Me
year.
too.
They learned last year against Milwaukee. I think they upgraded at the center position to kind of not necessarily overtake Giannis, but just be able to deal with Giannis and be able to take that next step to the crown. And I think, like you said, I think this is Memphis's next step in their metamorphosis. And I think eventually they're going to do things better. I just think that Morant, if he could just develop an outside jumper, just a little bit more, a few tweaks on his overall game, and we're like, I mean, because you already see what they could do without Morant. Like Frankie's earlier point, they can win without Morant. If Morant could just a few more little tweaks, and I think that these guys are doing phenomenal things. Real quick, not to turn away from the NBA, but we got to keep this show moving. We got Cabrian Hayes signs his extensions with the Pirates. And I know the show's kind of out of order. We talk about baseball, we talk about football, we go back to baseball, but just deal with it. It's unscripted. The Pirates' third baseman. Just deal with it. Just deal with it. The Pirates' third baseman signs, an 8-year deal for $70 million, the largest in Pirates history. 257 batting average, 689 on base percentage. Not bad numbers. Not necessarily the greatest of great numbers, but not bad numbers. He has a trouble with pulling the ball. Okay, so that's one of his weaknesses. He changed his stance to better accommodate for inside pitches. So he is making improvements on the way he approaches the inside as well as the outside pitches, but he has struggled with injuries. So here's my deal. 8 years, $70 million. He's an average guy. Do we think he's worth the money? He's got injuries. He does have a problem pulling the ball. He's got average, not great numbers, but average numbers. I think $70 million, 8 years is okay. I'm okay with that number. I don't think it's necessarily going to be the highest, but I think for where he's at, I think the contract extension matches his talent level and his health issues. Does anybody have an issue with the amount of money and the length of contract that the Pirates have given Hayes at this point? Frankie, we're going to start top to bottom. Frankie, what do you think?
Sorry, my wife is telling me about the Mets game on how they were about to brawl yesterday with the Washington Nationals, since we were talking about baseball. The sign extension with the Pirates were correct?
Yeah.
It's
I love how he said, yeah, man, that's what we're talking about. Not no damn Mets game.
Listen, I'm just explaining to you why I wasn't paying attention to you.
I'm just busting
not just because every time you talk it's boring and it puts me to sleep, but because I was talking to my wife. But this is a great extension for the Pirates. I feel like this is a good pitcher. He does great things for Pittsburgh. Does this make Pittsburgh better? Not really. No. It doesn't. Pitching wise for him, yes, but this doesn't make Pittsburgh better. It's a good extension for him. Now they need to.
Yeah,
I know. I didn't want to correct Frankie because
he's not a
Frankie. He's a third baseman.
Oh, then listen. I don't know. I don't care. I'm not a Pittsburgh Pirate. I'm looking at the picture and it looks like he's pitching. I don't care. I don't know this guy. I just think it's a good extension on him. Who really
Ryan,
cares?
If you're watching this, I'm sorry.
Hey, I just want to shout out that people at Unscripted, we do now do our research. Frankie has just been sleeping at the wheel. My bad.
I didn't get that memo.
No,
so I'm
sorry.
Listen, I do my research, just not on teams that are not relevant. Who cares about the Pittsburgh Pirates? Really? Come on.
Oh, okay.
I hope it just gets like a flood of comments for Pirates fans out of nowhere.
Yeah, just getting triggered.
Bring it.
I think I'll be honest with this extension. I have mixed feelings on it because this is his third year. Like his first year, I don't even think he even played. Somebody fact check me. I don't even think he even played 30 games. His first year, and again, if I'm mistaken, I think in 2020 he was called up. My thing is,
in September.
Yeah, he was called up, and then last year was kind of the year where he kind of took advantage to an extent. 96 games, 257, 316 on base, solid slash line. 257, 316, 373 on base percentage, 689. So I like him. My thing is this contract for me isn't really on what he's doing now. It seems like Pittsburgh is banking on his future and what he potentially could be. That's what this contract. As soon as I see 8 years, they're already banking on you to be something for them long term. Now maybe it's just me. I'm probably gonna get yelled at, but the $70 million, I'm not even mad at that.
No, I'm not mad at that either.
That's cheap nowadays.
If we're gonna be,
honestly, that's less than $10 million a year. Which
exactly. You're not shooting yourself in the foot. It's like, so let's round it up. Let's say it's $10 million a year. You're playing one of your young players, frankly, one of your best players in the entire Pittsburgh organization. But again, yeah, they're bad. But again, he's still the best. He shows potential. He shows flashes of greatness with both the leather and at the plate. He shows flashes of greatness here and there. And you also need to look at it. Yeah, he got paid that. Look how much. Listen, Scherzer got paid, what is it, $120 for 3 years? Bless his heart. This is nowhere near that. Sure, when you see 8 years, people tend to freak out a little bit. But again, 70 years. Again, let's blow it out of proportion. Let's say it's 10 mil every year. I've never in my life heard that be a bad contract. Never in my life.
And then again, let's not get it wrong. Like, this is why the lockout happened in the first place. Players wanted more money, and this is what they're getting. They're getting more money because they deserved it. So
yeah, right.
So hey, so exactly. just to kind of put it in perspective, if I could give you this little bit of information, the average, not minimum, not the highest, but the average minimum or the average salary for Major League Baseball is $4.17 million. So if you figure 4.17 is the average salary, and he's getting 70 over 9, that means they're paying him just above average, but not great.
Right. So that, which is why I'm saying, fine. Like, exactly. That's why I'm not mad at the deal. Now, if they give him 8 for like 180, now we're gonna have to sit down to start asking questions, and start figuring out what is going on.
Right.
But again, you're not, and they even threw some incentives in there. He's not making over 80 million this entire contract. So I'm not mad at it. It's just something they can keep him locked in. So if he starts playing great, you know what I mean? They could potentially maybe even rip it up and give him a new deal, whatever the case. Same thing with Ronald Acuna, right? You know for a fact he's not going to, the Braves aren't going to be able to play Ronald that. But you just know it's just to keep him. You said what?
I'm sorry, what was that, Pride?
No, I'm sorry. Oh, yeah, I forgot you're in Atlanta. The Braves can't play him. I'm just saying the Braves know they can't pay him that whole contract. They just give it to him so he could be there. And between 3 to 5 years, they're going to rip it up and they're going to give him a new one. It's just a deal to keep him there in the present. And then John says, I would honestly.
John, who's going to go to Pittsburgh?
That's something we need to take into consideration. This is Pittsburgh. Pittsburgh is horrible.
This is not a hotbed for baseball here.
Not at all. I mean, think about it. The last best player they had was who?
Go back to what Jay said. This is their highest paid player or extension in their franchise.
Yeah, look, let's keep it in perspective. The Pirates don't pay a whole hell of a lot, so they're not.
They are dirt cheap.
Right.
And you guys talking to me about me talking about the Pirates. Look at you guys.
No. But again,
which is true.
The difference is we know what position he plays.
I don't care.
I don't care.
Wow.
Imagine. Let me ask you a question, Frankie. Let me ask you a question. What if I looked you in the face and said, "Oh yeah, Josh Donaldson is a reliever"? Imagine I looked you in the face and I said, "Josh Donaldson is a reliever." What would you say to me?
You'd have the same reaction.
Thank you. Yo, Frankie would kill me. This man would kill me.
Currently, everybody.
Listen, Frankie. They don't call him Frankie Kneecaps for nothing.
Who calls him that?
Of course, Jay want to mention kneecaps, but we'll talk about this after Unscripted when we, are not on live TV.
Hold on. Jay, can you put that next comment? Can you put the next comment?
One?
The next one, the very last one.
The very last one?
Down.
Okay. I just want to address this point real quick. Yes, they're dumb for not keeping Kutch.
Also,
right?
It's not McCutcheon. How to spell?
Right. It's Andrew McCutcheon. But I get it that. But to call him a bum, to call Brian Hager a bum, is straight up completely uneducated.
25, sorry.
110%. To call him a bum and pretend that 70 over 8 with a 9th year club option. They're not giving him a player option. It's a club option, so they can decline him if they so wish. To call him a bum, it's wild to me. I don't think it's fair to call him a bum. I think that's uneducated.
No. I think Pittsburgh played him.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
John, I know you put the stats up there. He's played not even a full season.
Thank you.
He has not even played 162 games yet. Look,
exactly.
What was it the White Sox? They gave. Hold on, I need to find.
You know what I mean? Like, and my only thing with it is like, again, the contract, the way I'm looking at the contract, to me, it just looks like they're banking on what he will be in the future. That's just me. When I see this, it's just a future thing where they're banking on him to, to pan out in the grand scheme of things. So they're not really paying him for now.
Because let's be honest, he has struggled with injuries. So I don't know how much you could put on him just as of yet to see who he really is.
Right.
So to pay him a little bit above average based on potential is not necessarily a bad thing.
I'm not mad at it. I'm not mad. I'm not gonna call him trash because again, the stats you just brought up, those aren't trash stats for the most part.
What?
Those aren't really
trash.
Those aren't trash stats. A 257 average, it's okay. Yeah. It's not the best, but it's okay.
Like I said, it's middle of the road.
Right. And by the way, the only thing people are gonna harp on are the two things they're gonna harp on: the RBIs and the home runs. First of all, he's a contact hitter. We don't shit on Ketel Martel. Right, he's exactly, and more likely, also that. But we don't shit on Ketel on Marte for not getting any dingers. We don't bash him for that because he's a contact hitter. And for the RBIs on Pittsburgh, dudes never get on base anyway, so they'll make you get RBIs.
And look at his slugging percentage that you put up, bro. A .373.
A 373.
That's amazing, honestly. That's amazing.
He's not the greatest hitter. He's there for his defense and his contact and his steals. He's a fast guy.
He's zooming. The dude be
zooming. Hey, can I ask you three guys a question? At what point?
I would have never thought you would have said that, Jay. What's your question?
Logan taking shots today.
I'm sorry.
Real quick, if I can point out, and Logan, if you can just hold on for a second. At what point did Logan start becoming sassy? Because Logan used to be so mild-mannered, so reserved, so professional. And here lately, he's just been a total dick.
You know what it is, Jay? His birthday recently passed a couple months ago, so he grew up. He's finally.
I guess so. Hey, listen. Hey, to be fair, at what point do we start finding our listeners for dumb comment? And then, Damien, I love you, bro. I love you. But let's be honest, Damien, this was not your best comment that you put up there. To be fair, what the hell? It was Atlanta. Even though they won a World Series, when were they ever good? I can tell you when they were good. Do you not remember Glavine, Smoltz, and the whole Damien? I'm telling you right now, brother, man. I love you, brother, but sometimes you just post the dumbest shit I've ever seen in my life.
Who?
So what is putting it up? Read it before you put it up.
I read it before I put it up. I put it up there because I couldn't believe how crazy this comment was.
Also, John. Anyway, I don't know what John's saying. He said you got Lil Jon. This isn't 2007. We've got we got better people than Lil Jon.
Seriously, they got way more than Lil Jon. They got Lil Bow Wow.
This ain't 07, baby. Get with the time, John.
All right, can we all just can we kick Frankie out of here, bro? Because this man, when he just said, bro, I just want to jump out a window. I want to jump out a window. I can't stand him.
Frankie?
He said they got Lil Bow Wow. I can't stand it.
They got Lil Bow Wow. Hold on. I'll put Frankie into punishment right now. Hold on a minute now.
Nah. What you mean? We got Soulja Boy. That's on par with.
Hey, listen. Hey, real quick. Hey, we ain't even got to wrestling yet. Okay, we got a lot of show to go through here. And Prime, I really need you here for the wrestling topic. So let's keep this going. Mickey Moniak out 6 weeks.
Jesus Christ.
He's got a wrist fracture.
Let me start this one, Jay, because I didn't get.
Yeah, no. Go ahead, Logan. Go ahead. That's all yours.
So with Brian Hayes, to everyone out there, he's young. It's a cheap contract. This is their highest paid player in history. Am I saying that the Pirates are a well-run organization? No, but I mean that's their best player they got. So we'll see what they can do. Also, fun fact out there for both UJ and Frankie: his father is Charlie Hayes. Charlie Hayes played with the Houston Astros in 1992.
Damn right. Say it with your chest, Logan.
Yeah,
Say it with your chest.
Say it with your chest.
Sorry, Jay. He played with the Astros in 2001. He also played with the Yankees. He had 2 stints with the Yankees in 92. And then also he was the world champion.
Why are we talking about dog shit?
Oh, you're mad because he lost back-to-back games.
No, hold on. Time out. I'm not mad at all. We got swept by Baltimore the first series of last year. You let me know where that got us. By the way, you lost us in the wild card. Do better. I told you this in a group chat. You guys are going to win 100+ games just to get dog walking the wild card. And all you delusional Yankees fans are going to stutter for an excuse because as always, the Yankees these past few years have been nothing but disappointment. They're the Dallas Cowboys who replaced the star with pinstripes. That's what you got.
Let me ask you, you know what, Pride? I'm going to let you have that one. I'm going to let you have the Cowboys because you referenced the Yankees. So I'm going to let you have that one, okay? I'm going to let you have it. Logan, you made a really good comment a while back. And I don't remember, I think it was in the group chat that you made the comment. But I want to point this out for, hold on. I want to point this out for Frankie's amusement. When was the last time the Yankees won the World Series in your lifetime? What grade were you in?
I was in 6th grade, Jay.
Oh,
hold on, Logan. How old are you?
I'm 24. Going to be 25 this year.
Jesus
hey,
Christ.
I say that to say this.
Why am I so young?
They had the
That's
highest.
not for me to answer.
Hey, listen. The Yankees had the highest payroll in the world. The Yankees had the highest payroll in the world, but yet they haven't done crap since Logan was in the 6th grade.
Jay, and you make it seem like that's long ago. Like Logan just said, he's young. You make it seem like he's like
hold on. 6th grade, brother. Hold on, 6th grade, brother. My man could have graduated twice. What?
I'm about to say, I went through college already. I finished high school.
You know what's funny?
You
know what's funny? We win our championships legit. We don't steal signs to cheat.
No. I
don't care what you say, Jay. You're going to continue saying that. You're going to continue being like, oh, but you guys got a letter for also stealing signs. But Jay, you guys won it and you cheated. You cheated.
Let our guest expand.
Thank you, sir.
Pride, please. Floor is yours.
Don't downplay that letter. Because you're the same dude that if the letter came from the Astros, you would have been screaming and pumping your chest and saying, see, there's the proof. Let's be honest. Everybody in the Major League Baseball has been doing that for 10+ years. There have been reports of this going on.
Who got caught, Pride?
For years.
Pride, who got caught?
No, Frankie, please give him the floor. Give him the floor.
Shut up.
Don't get it twisted.
Shut your mouth, Jay.
In any way, I'm not.
Who got caught? Who got caught, Pride?
Listen, I understand what you're trying to say. I understand that the Houston Astros were the one who got caught.
Say their name right. They're the Houston Astros.
Meanwhile, y'all still can't beat them. Anyway, this is the point.
We swept them last year. They didn't beat us not one game last year.
I'm sorry.
Pride, in the playoffs again? No.
Pride, who was in the World Series last year? Logan, you probably know this question. Who was in the World Series last year?
I know the winner.
Jay, who lost the last series last year? Who lost the World Series?
Hold on. Who was in the World Series last year?
Does it matter that you were in it?
Yes, it matters.
It matters if you win it. It matters if you win it.
It matters to an extent. To an extent.
You're on the couch watching me.
Yeah, I was
You're
on the couch. But you were on the couch crying because you couldn't hold that trophy up.
And you were crying when you couldn't even get close enough to even see the trophy.
I wasn't.
I was crying tears of joy.
I wasn't.
I was happy.
I would rather get eliminated in the wild card than losing the championship.
You have no idea, and that's why
you're a loser.
That's bold,
exactly.
Man.
That's that loser.
That's why I'm a what? I'm a what?
That's a loser. That's a loser mentality right there.
No, it isn't.
Exactly.
1,010%.
That's exactly a loser mentality.
Nope. That's a loser mentality right there.
Nope.
I don't care.
Hello, Lakers.
Nope. For one, Jay and Logan were here last year. They were here last year when I lost the World Series or the World Wild Card, and they knew how pissed I was. And I was over because I told Jay, I said, you are either going to lose to the Red Sox or you're going to lose in the World Series. I warned him, and I said to Logan, I said, yo, your Braves are going to make it.
Wait a minute.
It's better to beat. No, you know what, Frank? No, go ahead. Go ahead, Pride. Go ahead, Pride.
It's interesting because I used to talk to some Yankees fans. They said the same thing. And I'm going to rebut you with literally the logical thing ever. No shit, they're either going to lose to the Red Sox or the Dodgers because that's the only two fucking teams that can play. So what you're saying isn't philosophical. You're listing the only two teams they could play. So if they lose, of course they're going to lose to one of those teams. Because it's not like you can go.
Tampa Bay was in there too. You guys could have lost to Tampa.
Let me say one thing. It's better to let me say this. You guys spent more money than the Astros.
Oh my God, Jay, shut up.
Hold on now.
You're always worrying about our money. Are you mad because Houston has no money?
You know what, Frank, I'm about to
money.
Hey, listen.
Houston has no money.
Hold on now. You guys spent more money.
They're worrying on Justin Verlander's freaking fixed robot arm.
He's so upset that his team sucks.
I'm upset. No, we
He's
sucked
so
over
upset
2-0.
that his team sucks. You guys spent more money last year. Hold on. You guys spent more money last year to sit on the couch than we did to play in the World Series. I'm sorry if it hurts you that you weren't good enough to play in the World Series. It must really suck so bad for you that you couldn't play in the World Series.
I'm sorry you weren't good enough to make it to the World Series. Oh, I'm sorry we weren't good enough to win the World Series. Shut your mouth.
And Frankie, I do get your point, and you can say that if you're a Dodgers fan. If you lost in a wild card, I don't know, man. I don't know. I never understood. I would rather lose a wild card than the World Series. I don't know, man. I personally, I never understood that. If I'm gonna lose, that's the same thing of saying, oh yeah, bro, I'd rather if we could parlay this into wrestling. Yeah, Logan, I'd rather lose on main event than the main event of WrestleMania. Like, no, bro, I'm not here to lose on Superstars. What are we doing? Like, I didn't sign a contract to just be on AEW.
There's a difference. You can't put WWE. You can't put wrestling.
You kind of can because
because in wrestling you put people over. In baseball,
no, it
All
doesn't
right,
matter.
hold on, guys. Hey, hold on.
Hold
on. We still got to get to WrestleMania. We still got to get to WWE. So hold on. Let's put a pin in this conversation real quick. I want to round this out on the current topic that we're on. The guy suffered a wrist fracture. Hold on. He suffered a wrist fracture. He was hit by a pitch against Tampa in spring training. So he never actually made it to the regular season. He's the first overall pick in 2016. He's got 29 career games in the majors, 4 doubles and 5 home runs in spring training. How do you think this is going to affect Philadelphia at all, if you think, going forward in terms of trying to make a go at it? I mean, he's only going to be out, I'm sure, 6 weeks. I don't think it's going to affect them too much. But the Phillies have actually a really good freaking roster, to be honest with you. Mm-hmm. I think they may need a little bit of help with their pitching. But Pride. We're gonna do a top to bottom. Pride. Oh, Frankie, where you go? Pride.
If I'm mistaken,
how do you think this money act is going to affect the Phillies in terms of where they go from here?
Well, honestly, I don't think this bothers them that much right now because, like you said, I like their lineup. I really do. I mean, you got Bryce Harper, Kyle Schwarber, who I hate you, Kyle. You know what I mean? I'll always have hatred for Kyle Schwarber because he left us, but whatever, to each their own. I would have been more concerned if it was Rhys Hoskins. I would have been more concerned for that. Not to say that Mickey's bad or anything like that. You know what I mean? But I just think because of how young he is, I think A, he can bounce back, and B, like you said, offensively and defensively, they still have talent. They have a pretty solid roster. I think the only concern I have with them is pitching. He's not a pitcher, you know what I mean? He's not Cabrian, right, you know what I mean? He's not Cabrian Hayes, so he's not a pitcher or anything like that. I would be a little concerned in terms of him long term, because is this going to mean he's injury prone? You don't know. Again, for me, if I'm not mistaken, I think there was a broken bone in his right hand. I believe it was his right hand, which, if we're going to be honest, a lot of batters experience something like that, either a broken bone, sprained finger. You know, unfortunately, that's just something that really happens with them. So I'm not overly worried because, again, they're pretty deep. So don't be surprised if, even though he's out 6 weeks, don't be surprised if he's out 7, 8, maybe even 9 weeks when they want to be extremely safe with him, because even though you don't need him now, kid's only 23. So you don't want to jeopardize his future by trying to force him to come back and do all this stupid stuff. Like I wouldn't do that at all. So I'm not concerned at all.
Logan, your thoughts on Mickey Moniak in terms of what his effects will be on Philadelphia going forward?
Yeah, it sucks because he's probably going to be a starter or an every other day player. Like I say, he's been in the minor leagues for a long time. This is probably going to be his breakout year, hopefully. And injury struck at the worst time. But like Pride said, and like we're getting comments from John saying, it's early in the season, so you'd rather have it happen here than later. The Phillies already have a good roster. So we'll see what they can do. I mean, hopefully he can come back and he can get his career kind of started for the Phillies. But we'll see what he can do. John said he'll be coming back just the right time against the Braves and the Dodgers. And, yeah, those are definitely going to be some good series. Anthony said this is getting heated. Where's my popcorn? But, yeah, best of luck to Mickey. Hopefully he can come back healthy and make an impact for the Phillies.
So, again, I'm really hyped up for this year. Pride, correct me if I'm wrong. You're a Boston fan for baseball, correct? It's the Red Sox.
Yes, sir. Boston Red Sox. Yes, sir.
Man, hey, it's gonna be a good year, brother. Between the Red Sox, the Tampa Bay Devil Rays, and the Yankees. Hey,
not off to the best start. Not off to the best start against the Yankees.
Well, no, here's my thing is I'm not really worried, in all honesty, about the start. That doesn't really bother me.
I feel
I'm more concerned right now. There is a little bit of fear regarding Xander Bogaerts. Game one, he swung and he said it was something with his hamstring or the back of his thigh. That kind of got me triggered. Yet again, Chris Sale, picks me up just to hang me over the cliff and drop me. Motherfucker gets injured again. So it's tough. Rafael Devers was like, yeah, I don't want to re-up. So he's probably going to end up leaving us. The only comfort I have this year, I have Alex Verdugo. That's the only comfort I have this year.
John said, I think Detroit will surprise a lot of people this year. They were terrible until the last 60, 70. I said watch out for the Tigers. They could be a sleeper team. I mean, because they've really improved their roster this year with Baez and with Torkelson and along with a bunch of other guys they signed. I mean, they could make some noise. I'm not saying they're going to be a powerhouse, but, I mean, they could definitely, I think, maybe slide in there, maybe try and get one of those wild card spots, maybe. Who knows?
Mm-hmm.
The Brewer, he said, I think the Brewers take a step back. Okay.
It's very, very early in the season. So
right, it is. Literally
but I will tell you this. It's very interesting the way that the start of this season has taken off. And it's going to be interesting to see where we go from here. Look, man, I still think Boston's going to be in there. Tampa's going to be in there. The Yankees are certainly going to be in there as well. It's going to. I think, Pride, you probably had the toughest division to play in because there are three really phenomenal teams in there. So it's going to be to see. It's going to be to see where they go.
You said not the NL West?
No, the NL West has got it too. It's good too. I'm just talking about specifically on the American League side of things.
Hold on. Say that one more time, Logan.
I said those are probably the top two.
Right, top two. We have top three. So
I don't know. John says talking about Detroit. I'm not really worried. I'm not concerned about Detroit, even though he had AJ Hinch, my favorite manager from the Astros. But I'm not really concerned about Detroit too much. I'm just not. Hornets are interested in Russell Westbrook.
Why?
And that's what I'm saying. You got LaMelo Ball there. Why would you be interested in Russell Westbrook? His contract, how much money it pays, what he brings to the team.
But hold on, Logan. I want you to repeat what you just said, Logan.
For the unis, look at him in that uniform. Look nice.
No.
I said for the culture. Could you imagine, Pride, LeVar Ball and Russell Westbrook side by side?
No. I can't because once it happens, LaMelo's demanding a trade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Russell's not going to sit on the bench. Russell's not sitting on the bench. And you want.
There's LaMelo. Stop acting like Scary Terry doesn't fit what you're building. So it's like, let's say you do get him. You're obviously, we know the untouchable. You're not getting rid of LaMelo. I'm pretty sure we all know that. You're not getting rid of LaMelo.
I think the trade I saw, like the rumored trade, was Westbrook for Rozier, Gordon Hayward, and someone else. I forget who.
Gordon Hayward? Oh yeah.
Because he is on the big contract. And the Lakers will take it on.
I mean, they'll take that because it's if I'm not mistaken, it's not as bad as Russell Westbrook's contract. So sure, they'll take that, but I don't know, man.
Also, put that count up by John Suggs, Jay.
Hornets facing an on-rushing expense.
That one, yeah.
Miles Bridges to a lucrative contract extension this offseason, followed by the eventual prospect of a max extension for Ball, combining one of their long-term deals with the final season of Kelly Oubre's.
Yeah, I mean, so they're about to start spending a lot of money, so they got to start dumping salary soon.
Right, but
so
again,
that's why this is rumored.
But but that doesn't make any sense because again, you have Russ for next year, right? And then where does Russ go after that?
Just one more season,
right? You only have him for one season, and it's like the only person with a big contract you want to get rid of, sure, would be Gordon Hayward, but even then, that's still not even solving your problem because if you do that and you take on Russell Westbrook's contract, you're probably in the same boat. If anything, maybe even a little worse. So it's like you did all that for what? You know what I mean? So it's like, I could be wrong in terms of like the actual books and whatnot and balancing them out. I could be wrong, but I don't, if you're going to do it as a salary dump to get a guy like Russ, who has literally one of, like, he's got a top 2 worst contract in the NBA easily. It's him. And the only reason he's second is because he's actually playing behind John Wall. And the only reason John Wall's contract is that bad is just because of the fact that he's not playing. That's honestly really the only reason people have said, that's the only viable reason you can give on why Russ's contract is worse. So if you do a salary dump, I don't know, man. I don't know.
Let's see. Damien said that can the Lakers just cut Russ without paying him? No, they're going to have to pay him.
No, if I'm not mistaken,
you can't cut anyone without paying them.
Right, but the thing is,
a young rookie.
Because usually when you cut them, you only pay like a portion of it. Russ's contract is fully guaranteed, so if you cut him,
they got to pay all of it.
Right. John Suck says, if you're doing a solid dump, I can see Terry Rozier has performed well this season with an above-average PER, but next season is year 1 of a 4-year, $97 million extension. But again, I'm not dumping that extension because of what you just said prior. He had he performed well this season, and he's been performing well since he got to Charlotte. So me personally, I'm not dumping that contract because again, you're entering the first year of that big extension, but he's been playing like he deserves that extension. And he's been playing as if like, why would we want to get rid of him? Someone said if they want to go that route and free up space for next year. But again, I wouldn't.
This is the only one I've seen of a viable trade for the Lakers.
It would have to be.
This is the only one I've ever seen.
Yeah, it's gonna have to include Gordon Hayward
for sure. But I mean, like I said, we'll see. Like I said, Russ is only on a 1-year deal. So I mean, like I said, we'll see how it is. But there is interest at least. So who knows?
Right.
Now we move into AEW Rampage.
Jay, did you finish this, by the way? I know you said you were watching it.
I did. I actually, thank you to the ability to DVR stuff. I could fast forward like a champ, and I did actually make it to the end. Now, I don't know all of the AEWs as much as I do the WWE, but this is what I took away from what I did watch. And, of course, Pride, I'm sure you know all the AEW. I know you do, as well as Logan does, and, of course, Frankie. But I will start off with there was a Danielson versus Beretta match. Yep. There was a lot of suplexes, a lot of slams, a lot of sleeper holds. Danielson gets the win at the end of it. And then we moved into QT Marshall versus Strickland. And Strickland got the win. It wasn't a long match. And then, of course, Red Velvet versus Willow Nightingale. Red Velvet got it. Red Velvet is so much smaller than Willow Nightingale, but she did pull out the win. Then we had the main event of Moxley versus Yuta. And Yuta flies out before Moxley even gets into the ring, which is phenomenal. He takes the fight out of the ring into the crowd. They're out there fighting. And, of course, listen, I don't care what they say, Logan. That was fake blood because that blood was too bright and too high to be real blood. But it was still pretty good for effects. Yuta got blood all over the place. Yuta jumps out of the ring, puts Moxley through the table, and Moxley ultimately puts Yuta in a sleeper hold and takes the win. And basically, William Regals comes out to the ring, shakes the hand of Yuta, and all respect has been rendered back. That was my short synopsis of Rampage. But it was ultimately for that hour of show, it was pretty good. The Yuta match, like you said, was probably one of the better matches out of the whole thing.
Yeah, 100%. I liked it. I liked the Wheeler Yuta versus John Moxley. Kind of showed you he was taking a lot of hard suplex, especially on his neck, a lot of knees. He was taking a lot of stuff, and this kid was just like, I almost called him Shinsuke Nakamura because when he was on his knee when no, not the reason you think, Logan. It's because when he started doing this.
I don't know what you were going with this.
No, because when he started doing this, when he was on his knee going like that, it reminded me of like a slow version thing of when Shinsuke Nakamura starts winding up and does the come on. Like it kind of reminded me a little bit of that. Obviously, it looked like I thought William Regal was going to beat the bricks off this kid. And then all of a sudden he shakes his hand.
He was getting pumped up.
Yeah, he was getting pumped. And I was like, yo,
he was rearing that knee back.
But when I saw Moxley hit him with the Regal knee, I was like, oh, yeah, William Regal's coming out here. It's going to be a whole thing. But he ended up not doing it. The opening match, Beretta versus Danielson, solid. It was all right. You know what I mean? But it was a good thing of things to come. QT Marshall versus Swift Strickland. I might get heat for this. Swerve is the worst wrestler I've ever seen anybody try to push. Imagine being a high flyer and being boring. I'm going to leave it at that. The dude reminds me a lot of Evan Bourne, or Matt Sydal as he's known now. Yeah, cool. You're a high flyer. Imagine doing a shooting star press and I'm still yawning. I'm going to say that one more time.
Yeah.
I would rather see Rey Mysterio do that little lazy splash he does after the 619 than see Isaiah Swerve Scott attempt any high-flying move. I'd rather see Rey Mysterio do that lazy drop off the top rope than see any shooting star press that Matt Sydal would do. How he still has a job shows you wrestling is on the verge of heading to a very bad situation. QT Marshall, brother, got to go visit a Marshall so we can go lock him up. God knows why he's even on the roster. Imagine you do. Come on, bro. Meanwhile, Miro's still at home, just waiting for someone to call him.
He's filming movies, I think, right now.
Jesus Christ. Willow Nightingale versus Red Velvet. I am not a fan of Red Velvet, and honestly, I saw some nice things from Willow.
Their chemistry behind her,
huh?
The fans were actually getting behind.
They
Willow,
were,
and that was her first, I think, televised match.
Yeah, that was her first televised match. Right,
and she was in the Ring of Honor pay-per-view last week too.
Right, so it's they've been kind of building her up a little bit. They had absolutely zero chemistry, and you can tell.
One of the best.
They had. I don't know. Listen again. It is the first time that they've ever worked with each other, so maybe that's what it is. You know what I mean? But again, I thought Willow was gonna win. Red Velvet won. Heads off to her, and obviously John Moxley versus Wheeler Yuta. I liked it. It's just furthering it. How long until Wheeler Yuta becomes a part of them? It's kind of I feel like that's kind of.
It looks like that's probably coming next week.
Right, not either that or
they shook hands and then he put the blood with the BCC on it. So
right, yeah, the Blackpool, the
Combat Club.
Combat Club, yeah. So
great name,
which I kind of do like. You know what I mean? Blackpool for them.
Also, Damien, what are you referring?
Yeah,
to?
what are you referring
to? The Swerve Scott thing or what?
Yeah, what are you referring to? Because if you look at
Isaiah very vague.
Right, if you think Isaiah Swerve Scott is nice, hey, cool, hats off to you.
Or if you're talking about the women's match, I don't know, just put more description.
Right, you know what I mean.
Yeah, we definitely need more description on what Pro is smoking, because there could be a lot of different things.
Right. Again, overall, top to bottom, solid Rampage. I liked it. You know what I mean. I'm not mad at it at all. I enjoyed it. I really did.
Yeah. It was a fun Rampage. Like you say, you started off. Beretta and Danielson already in the ring, which you like to see. Hot start. Good match, 10, 15 minutes, give or take. Solid match between two guys who knows what they're doing. the back suplex spot that Danielson gave to Beretta, that looked like something almost went wrong, and that would have been brutal.
100%.
Because it looks like Beretta was going to try and reverse it into like a cross body,
Right.
but he didn't get all the way over and lay it on his hip.
Right.
And it looked like it could have been a lot worse than what happened.
Yeah.
But like I said, Danielson got the win. He's been on a hot streak. Overall, good win. Let's see. Also, some things that we all forgot to mention. This upcoming Wednesday, we have a couple of matches announced. Most importantly, I think, Jay, you get to witness Samoa Joe versus the Ring of Honor team Minoru Suzuki coming over from New Japan. Who he is, I think, like, 55 or something?
Yeah.
But he's 65 for all I care.
Wait. How old is
Minoru
he?
Suzuki. He's in his mid 50s.
He is currently 53, going to be 54 this year. But he's in great shape, former legit MMA fighter in Japan. And he's been wrestling for a while. And Samoa Joe's been around forever. So it's going to be a good match.
You know what blows me out of my mind? Logan, I'm 49. I'm getting ready to be 50 this year. And my body feels like it is about jacked up all to hell. Like I couldn't even do half of the maneuvers that these guys are doing at 50 freaking years old.
You're not going to see a lot of crazy stuff. You're going to see a bunch of strikes. You're going to see some submissions. You're not going to see any top rope flip moves or nothing like that from him.
You're not watching
a lot of hard hitting is what you're going to see here.
It's like a
it amazes me though, even in their 50s, like you said, close to being closer to their 60s, that these guys are able to do what they're doing is just phenomenal. Man. It's just phenomenal.
Yeah. Let's keep it. I'll get to that in a minute, Damien. There's a backstage segment with Hook and Danhausen. I don't know what they're doing with this. Is Hook hurt? He hasn't wrestled in a while. So we'll see. I still don't know what's going on there. Scorpio Sky, Ethan Page, Dan Lambert cut a promo. Sammy Guevara, Tay Conti come out. And they said, hey, we want our, we want the title back, blah, blah, blah. And just jibber jabber. They're going to have a match. Also, I don't know what. Yeah, there it is. Let's see. Yeah, Swift Strickland, QT Marshall. I mean, it was a match. It wasn't great. It wasn't awful. I mean, I've seen better. I've seen worse. It was there. Strickland got the win. Marshall is just there solely to eat pinfalls at this point. I mean, prove me wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Nightingale and Velvet, like I said, I feel like Nightingale's I feel like she'll get signed because she's actually a pretty good worker. I don't really know much about her because, like I said, that was her first actual televised match. But I mean, from what I saw, she looks like she's decent in the ring. And like you said, there wasn't much chemistry. But I think that's probably more on Velvet because she's never really looked that smooth in the ring to me, personally.
Right.
So I feel like, I don't know. I mean, obviously they're going to have the woman who's been there longer win the tournament. But I mean, it was an okay match. And then the main event, we know Yuta and Moxley. Yuta kicked out of Moxley's finisher twice, which was crazy because if you look at it, the first match they had, Moxley beat him in like 30 seconds. And then the second match they had it with a little bit longer. And this one went like 20 minutes. And, I mean, Yuta was busted open, bleeding from head to toe, pillar to post. And overall, it was a really good match. Looks like he's going to join Regal and Danielson. And then they will have their third active member managed by William Regal. So that's going to be exciting. We'll see what else they can add. But, yeah, Jay, put that comment by Hernandez, that one about Evan Bourne. Overall, I like Rampage, though. I like it's an hour, short to get through. And mostly, like, a lot of wrestling. There's probably, like, 45 out of the hour long of just wrestling. That's always good.
Mm-hmm.
Said Evan Bourne, Swerve Scott thing, what's the difference between what they do and what Ray does? Oh, that's easy. First off, Rey Mysterio is so much shorter than them. And younger Ray was doing, like, Hurricane Ranas and crazy stuff. But I think what Pride, correct me if I'm wrong, is Rey Mysterio has always been able to, like, connect with the fans and get that anticipation, get that momentum for his moves.
Right.
Even if it was just like a senton or a splash.
Right. And that's the point I'm making. Like, the difference is like, when you're a high flyer, you're supposed to just naturally connect with them. Like, for instance, when Seth Rollins, right, when he was a heel, when we would see him getting ready to do a Phoenix Star splash, the rare times he ever did it, you got excited. Isaiah Swerve Scott tries to do the most, like for instance, Pac. The few times he's hit that red arrow thing, the very few times, whether he's heel, whether he's face, whether he's in between, doesn't matter. Like people get excited. Finn Balor with the coup de grace, same thing. People get excited, right? Like these dudes literally do some of the quote hardest things ever, and nobody cares. Like I give it 2 months, and no one's gonna care about Isaiah Swerve Scott, because that's exactly what happened to him in NXT. So it happens to every promotion he's ever been in. This isn't nothing new. Every single promotion he's been in, he'll ride it for 2 months, and all of a sudden, the fans forget about him. The other people, the talent forgets about him. The office forgets about him. The promotion forgets about him, to the point that when they realize, they're like, "Oh, go do something."
Yeah. We'll see what happens. So. Also, kind of talking about forgotten stars or forgotten wrestlers. Backstage, you saw Tony Nese and Mark Sterling have a chat. It looks like Sterling might be trying to recruit Nese for his managerial services. I mean, it is what it is, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not like super hyped about it, but we'll see what can come of it. We'll get to Walter, and that's not his name anymore. Get it right. It is Gunther in a minute. Jay, it is Friday down. What did you think of the show? Give us your notes.
All right, so then we roll into basically Friday Night SmackDown, and it opened up with Ronda Rousey basically challenging Charlotte Flair to an I Quit It match because, like she said, her mama said, you don't just win one, you got to win two. And Ronda says, I got you in the tap out, but at the end of the day, you got me on the other end of the stick when the referee was counting. So basically, she challenges her to an I Quit It match, and Charlotte Flair says basically,
I Quit, Jay.
Huh?
It's just called I Quit, not I Quit It.
Yeah, I quit. Okay, God. Piece of deposit. My wife's over here.
I even got Melanie on that Friday.
Melanie's over here laughing at me. Listen,
wow. And you got her going hard too. Like that's like the third. That's like the third time she did. Wow.
Yeah. Hey, listen, there's no love in my house, man. Listen, I get it from all ends. I get it from Frankie. I get it from the wife in bed. She laughs at me even when we're having sex. She'll laugh at me.
The third time you brought this up. I don't care. Talk about SmackDown.
But listen, so Flair basically tells her, "Get to the back of the line, bitch."
By the way, that actually was a line. Like he's not lying.
No, that actually was the line. That
Charlotte actually said that.
And so Ronda basically says, whether you like it or not, this match is going to happen. And she goes several times out to Pierce saying, hey, you're going to make this match happen, right? And he's kind of telling her, yeah, we'll talk about it, blase. I'm pretty sure that match is going to happen at some point. Then it moves on to Woods versus Butch. Butch is supposed to be the psychotic guy. Woods is, basically Butch establishes himself early in the match against Woods and New Day. But at the end of the day, Woods does get the quick pin and does take the overall win. The one thing I thought was
they call it the backwoods. I don't know if that's an incest joke or if a roll-up joke. I'm thinking it's a roll-up joke.
Did you hear what McAfee said? He's like, he hit him with the backwoods, a quick roll-up. I'm like,
he did a backwoods quick roll-up. But yeah, and then you had Sami Zayn coming out and wanting respect. And he says, hey, the first guy through this door is who I'm taking. And, of course, who comes through the door? Drew McIntyre. And Zayn is like, the next guy that comes through that door, I'm going to take that match. And he's like, nope, the match is set in stone. You're going up against Drew McIntyre. And Sami Zayn's like, damn. I wanted my respect, but there's no way the hell I'm getting respect against Drew McIntyre. And, of course, if you watch that match, it was Sami Zayn basically doing everything he could to avoid Drew McIntyre in that match. And he was running all over the place to the point where he was in the crowd and lost the match to Drew McIntyre on a count out. So it is what it is. And then you had Gunther versus Alonzo. That was a match that
Alonzo, one knows, by the way, Jay.
That match lasted about 3 seconds with a pin by Gunther. And Alonzo basically had no chance whatsoever in that match, and it apparently showed. And then Happy Corbin comes out with Mad Cat, and they sit down. They start to have a little bit of a conversation. Corbin says, "Hey, the only reason I lost the match was because you took my attention away from him with you jumping up on the apron, and that's why I lost the match. And Mad Cat, he says basically it all comes out to basically Corbin trying to humiliate Mad Cat in the ring with jokes and things of that nature. And it ultimately backfired with Corbin trying to get the early hit on Mad Cat. And as you saw at the end of the day, it was Mad Cat that took it away from Corbin and won that one.
Cap. Jay, Cap. It's Mad Cap. Like the hat you have, Cap. Not meow, it's Cap.
I'm sorry. I'm hooked on phonics. I didn't graduate all the way through class.
I'm going to clip that for sure. I'm clipping it, Bride.
Whatever, damn it. Listen, I'm new to wrestling. Leave me alone, okay? At least I knew what the hell was going on.
Give him a break. Give him a break. All right.
You're right.
All right. Continue.
Are you laughing at me too, LeBron? I pulled a page. I pulled a page out of.
We're at the 2-hour mark now. Things just go off the rails now.
Hey, real quick. When we're having sex, that's exactly what she sounds like when I'm about to have an orgasm.
Jay.
But anyway, I'm sorry. My bad. I apologize. I'm sorry, AD. I'm sorry, AD. I'll be quiet.
By the way.
No, but hey.
Keep it rolling, Jay.
So then we had Liv Morgan go up against Sasha Banks. Morgan got the win with the pick. It was another quick match. I think Sasha Banks was a little confused about what happened, but Liv Morgan did come away with the win. And at the end of all, Ricochet versus, and I hope I say his name right, Ricochet versus Jinder Mahal or whatever his name is next week is going to be for the belt. And I know I said his name wrong, Logan. You correct me.
Jinder Mahal.
There you go. Jinder Mahal will be next week for the belt. All in all, a pretty good. Hey, it was a good. Hey, honestly, it was a good SmackDown. Roman Reigns came out and did his little promo and talking about trying to get the next big feat because he's basically accomplished everything he can accomplish. Would be get his cousins to win the tag team match against Nakamura. Am I right?
No, he wants the Usos to go to Raw and to win the tag champs over there.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yes,
right.
Yes, and then Nakamura came out.
And then basically the cousins, he kind of gave him an embrace as if everything was good. And then he let go of the embrace. And then the Usos basically took it on him and beat the crap out of him.
So, Jay, what do you think about the Usos?
Man, I think they can get the tag team. I don't know how they're gonna write it into the script, but I think the Usos get the tag team. I think they get both tag team matches.
All right,
Logan,
brother. I see what you did.
Yeah.
By the way, I feel like when I talk wrestling with you experts, I feel like a duck out of water, man.
No, but Jay, listen. Usos, all right. Let's just because it's gonna bother me if I pick it. That's 1, 2. It's okay. Listen, we all had to start somewhere. When I first started, I was an idiot, right? Like I was stupid everywhere, and not just that in every sport possible. Now I got people learning from me. Okay.
We also got Damian Hernandez in the comments. Jay, he said that. I didn't get it when Wood said he never won at Mania, and then saying after Mania records are renewed, like what the hell? Since when did they don't? They just threw that in there just to make you care about the match.
Yeah,
it didn't work. He said, "Screw UFC. This is more entertaining." I agree. Pride, what did you think about SmackDown?
I liked it. It's just confusing on why you would let Woods lose. It looks like they're trying to sow some type of discontent between Butch, Botch, and Bitch, as Xavier Woods lovingly referred them to. Butch ended up slapping Ridge Holland and Sheamus, getting mad before they kind of calmed them down. Lacey Evans did a thing. I forgot. I didn't even know she was still with the company. I completely forgot.
She went away because I think she was pregnant, gave birth. I think she's been gone for. I think that was
she was pregnant, gave birth, and then I guess they forgot to call her back. I don't know. Somebody forgot to call somebody.
It's been a while since we've seen her. Been over a year.
Right.
So
it's been a long time. So
she's coming back though.
Yeah, she's like, oh yeah, I
As
came
a
back.
face.
I was in the military, and it's like, okay, you were still dog shit in the ring, so get better. So we'll see whether or not
Right, taking no prisoners.
Right, we'll see that. Then obviously Roman Reigns came out. We're gonna unify everything. Solid SmackDown, really was. There were moments where they kind of lost me a little bit, but
yeah,
when you have a company who's kind of inconsistent at best with their storylines, it just naturally happens, right? Like, for instance, with Roman Reigns and having Shinsuke Nakamura come out, and Shin couldn't even say a word because as soon as he opened his mouth, all of a sudden he was like, and then he hugged him. He was like, give me a hug, lets him go, and then all that happened. So, pretty solid.
Like you say, he came out. Ronda came out, cut a promo. I need some fire in that voice, man. She's just so monotoned and just saying, I lost. My mom said never quit it, stuff like that.
And to that point, do you think that they will never give Ronda Rousey the crown though, because she is so? Her personality is just such that they won't give her the crown because of it?
No, they'll give it to her. I think they will.
I have myself muted. You know what's a dog shit personality? Roman Reigns. They still gave it to him. So I don't think the personality is really that much of a problem. And on top of that, if the personality is that bad, there's a simple fix to it. Give him a manager.
That's what Roman did.
Not only Roman, but when Bobby Lashley first came out, his personality was extremely boring. It was just, oh my God, he's back, right? And then they gave him Leo Rush.
Now it's going to be that again.
Right, exactly. Not exactly that's not what's going to happen, right? There's just some guys who need managers. It doesn't mean they're bad. It just means that they can't connect with the audience. And it's okay if you can't connect with them through words. That's fine. That's why you have guys like Paul Heyman. That's why you had Ludwig, which, no, I'm calling him.
I'm getting to Ludwig in a minute.
Like, you know what I mean? But that's why you have guys like that to cater. Like Gunther, he's solid on the mic. Ludwig is just better. So what are you going to do? You're going to put him on the mic. It's not a bad thing. And they need to start doing that with Ronda, because if Ronda starts speaking anything, she does what Roman Reigns does. If she talks over 30 seconds, she immediately gets lost. She gets so lost. And she's like, where do I go? What do I do? Like, so it's like, if she's going to say anything, short, sweet, to the point, don't have her go back and forth. And if there's going to be a back and forth, she's got the UFC back, right? Treat her how you treat Brock Lesnar. Just have her, like, you know what I mean? Just have her come out and just not talk. Have someone else do it. But, again, it's too obvious, so whatever.
Like I said, first match, Woods and Butch. I mean, it's a pretty good match. I don't know if they're gonna split Butch from them already. It's like, bro, you were punching and slapping them, and you've been here for like a month. So that's kind of interesting. I don't think they'll split this soon, but you never know. I just need that man to get his name back or something, because if he breaks away from them and still has the name Butch, he's dead on arrival. He is cooked.
Right.
Let's see. After, like I said, decent match. Woods got the W in that one with the backwoods. Then we get Ludwig Kaiser. Get it right, Pride.
Well, I apologize.
Ludwig Kaiser.
The former Marcel Barthel, who we saw the other week. On
Barthel,
yes.
Educate yourself, uncultured swine.
Yeah. I'm sorry. I got the intent. Versus local jobber Joe Alonzo. 1 in 2 minutes. Gunther chopped this man like it was lunch meat, and overall good win. Also, Damon said he looked like the Kool-Aid man in that red jacket. We get another debut. We get Raquel Rodriguez, not Raquel Gonzales anymore. I don't know why they changed their name. Also, by Pride. It is what it is. I mean, she's on the roster. She's a giant woman. She is very tall.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm gonna say the interview lady. She is like towering over that interviewer. Damien said Ronda used to tag with Shayna. I mean, not Shayna's already got a tag team partner. What you mean? Then we get Corbin and Moss coming out. Moss turns on Corbin. Moss is going to be a good guy now. Looks like they're going to get into a feud. Jay, if I had to guess, they're probably going to have a match at WrestleMania Backlash coming up in May. But that's just an early prediction. Like I said, I feel like that had run its course, so it is what it is. Let's see here. McIntyre saying that wasn't even a match. I mean, Sammy would come in for like 10 seconds, get a move done to him, walk outside, rinse and repeat. But they're going to have a rematch on SmackDown next week, so hopefully that'll be like an actual match. After that, like I said, most of this was mostly just recaps from Mania, a lot of video packages and footage and whatnot.
Right.
Lacey Evans, like I said, she's going to be coming back in the near future, so we'll see how she does with that as a babyface. Banks and Morgan was decent. Liv Morgan got the win after a superplex and just pinned her off of that. I mean, it's just setting up the tag match on Monday. And then finally the end where Reigns came out and said, hey, I've already done a lot. The Usos go get the Raw tag team titles from Orton and Riddle. So they will be moving over to Raw or going on Raw a decent amount, I would guess, until they get the titles. And Reigns and Nakamura are probably going to be having a feud at the next pay-per-view. So that is going to be Roman's next challenge. Overall, like it's a decent amount of SmackDown. I feel like the matches could have been a little bit better. But overall, it wasn't hard to get through. It was pretty good. Jay, what are your final thoughts, brother?
Yeah, so again, my final thoughts are, I think we have a hell of a good baseball season in front of us. I think it's going to be really interesting to see how, the last game of the season plays out. And as we head into the beginning of the playoffs, I mean, let's be honest, we're at the precipice of a lot of things going on in sports to talk about, a lot of things to entice us in. And then we still have football. The NFL draft is coming up pretty soon to see who's going to get what. Yeah, man, we're not too far out from the draft. Yeah, I mean, we're close to the draft. So, I mean, honestly, like I said, what a time to be alive. Honestly, at the end of the day, what a time to be alive. There's a lot of good things going on in sports to talk about, and we will continue to talk about them. And hell yeah, man, let's go. And we still got a lot of wrestling to contend with. So, you'll see a lot of that coming forward. Logan, your final thoughts?
Yeah, like I said, we got baseball just started back. We are 2 games in. It's going to be a fun time, man. With all of our teams, we're going to be talking a lot of trash. It's going to be a lot of fun. Well, we got the NFL draft in less than 20 days now. It's going to be April 28th is the first day. I think that's a Thursday, Jay. So we might actually do a special show for that. Honestly,
yeah.
We'll do something for that. So we'll see how that goes. One more time, rest in peace to Dwayne Haskins, gone way too soon. And, Jay, we'll be back at it again on Tuesday with some more good sports commentary.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, man, good show. It's been 2 hours. I think this is the longest show we've done in a hot minute. But it's good to have, Frankie C back in the fold. And obviously having Pride come in and do his commentary, man. Look, I could listen to Pride talk about the phone book. I enjoy having him. I enjoy having him on the show. And it's your boy, Jay McLovin, your boy, Logan Landers. And again, Gonzo will probably be back with us next week. And again, I think you're going to see more pay-per-view stuff come out as Unscripted will team up with Gonzo Sports Room, and we will produce that for you guys. So stay tuned. Lots of things coming up in the weeds as we go along. And, of course, we'll keep you informed as to when that's going to happen. Until Tuesday, with more sports knowledge, we are Unscripted, and we are out of here. Until next time, y'all be good.
All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. All sports, all plays. 365, we're making a place. You're talking the game, get you through the days. We're high in the court, the dime in the lane. Variety topics, living the same. All presentation, sports information. In the airways, taking the nation. All sport, all plays. Like working your faces. Grace up the field, so tie the laces. All sports, all plays.